This episode of Defining Duke is brought to you by Rocket Money. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscription, saving members up to $740 a year while using all of the app's features. So Dukes, what are you waiting for? Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Duke. That's rocketmoney.com/Duke. rocketmoney.com/Duke.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and welcome to episode 189 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, I'm joined, as always, by the Daywalker, the early bird himself, Lord Cognito. How are you doing this fine morning, sir? You know, you may notice, like, my voice actually sounds mildly masculine because I just woken up like an hour ago, so I don't have my, like, screechy, hi, guys. Like,
Hi, guys. Yo, you hilarious.
Yeah, I got a little bass to my voice for once. But
what's going on? How you doing?
How are you, sir?
I'm hanging. It's, a little early, but we got to do this, Obviously, you've accommodated me many times, as far as my schedule, so it's only right. You've got things going on, too. But, no, other than that, I just got this weird little, I was telling you earlier, like this weird little sinus thing going on, and I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how, like, when you have to, like, blow your nose, and then you try to pop your ears? I feel like my ear ain't popped on this side yet. So I got that weird nasally feel right now. So it's annoying, but we going to get through it. But other than that, no, I'm good.
For me, I always get it like it feels filled like here by my eyes. Like I always get it up there, and then it's like so invisible. Like I can't blow my nose or anything. I just have to just let it rock.
Yeah, so I'm taking a decongestant just to see. Hopefully, let that thing go through that Mucinex or whatever. See what happens, but hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah.
But other than that, same old.
Nice. Yeah. So the reason we're recording early, I can't say what, but I will be attending something that we'll be able to talk about later. So I appreciate COG accommodating me, and we are definitely not missing the biggest news of the week, where Hi-Fi Rush and Tango Gameworks have been saved. That's our number one story for the week. We will dive deep into that. But before all that, you're new here, you want to know a good way to support us, patreon.com/laststandmedia. Link in the description. You get early ad-free access every Thursday to Defining Duke, among our other shows. Summon Sign, both COG and I were just on. So if you want to hear a little bit more of us, we talk about the future of Xbox there, because Brad has done like a little platform check-ins video. He did one for PlayStation with Colin and Chris. He did one with COG and I for Xbox, and I don't know if he's doing anything for Nintendo, but knowing Brad, he's very thoughtful. I'm sure he's already got that planned out. But anyway, you can get early ad-free access to shows like that. Be part of the show. Write in. We have a lot of write-ins this episode. We thank you for being part of it. And also, we have the San Diego show September 6th, not too far from now. Colin just posted a big blog post on the Patreon for those who want to check it out about the show. He'll be posting recommendations and whatnot soon thereafter. But September 6th is the date. It's bit.ly/Sacred Dukes. If you want to go ahead and buy some tickets last minute, it'll be linked down below. We'd love to have you there. There's still some seats available, and things are looking really good. Like, we got a really fun show planned, so very excited for it. And again, we'll see you in San Diego. So thank you for supporting us. Also, just wanted to shout out our brother Dustin. He is going through one of life's greatest challenges right now, and I just want to send him a lot of love. Of course, he's one of our brothers. I've worked with Dustin since Ham Radio Podcast, and so if you want to learn more, it'll be on his Twitter account. You can go ahead and read up on that. Ben has also gone ahead and set up a GoFundMe for Dustin. So if you would like to go ahead and support him. The LSM community has, I'll just say, really showed out. I checked, I donated myself, and I checked out this morning. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it's got to be, I know it's not going to replace the pain, but it's got to be a little relieving.
Absolutely.
Knowing the help he's getting there. So thank you to the LSM community for having his back. And again, if you want to learn more about what's going on with Dustin, you can check out his Twitter account and consider supporting him on GoFundMe via Ben's Twitter account, which is at BenSmith2588.
Absolutely. Send some love to our brother.
Yeah, 100%. All right. We got a lot of write-ins here. I want to open up with health is wealth. We have quite a few of those, but first, Cog, food. Shall we? Let's indulge one more time.
Let's get it.
Dragon Paul 22 writes, "Hey Duke boys, after the whole peanut butter banana sandwich showdown, I have decided to write in and share my entry of weird food combinations based on what my best friend told me. She apparently used cream cheese and strawberry jelly to make a sandwich. She likes to call it redneck strawberry cheesecake. Her words, not mine. I have no idea what to make of this. Should we roast her for this strange concoction, or do you think it's valid and maybe better than we think? Discuss, and I hope you Duke boys have a pleasant, non-controversial company hanging on a loose bungee cord kind of day." Thank you, Dragon Paul, for writing it. Have you heard of this? Have you tried this?
I've never heard of the cream cheese joint, but jelly sandwiches is a throwback, at least on my side. So, usually it's just, butter or whatever. So toasted, lightly toasted if possible, kind of thing. So this ain't too crazy for me, surprisingly. This is one of the ones that's not too crazy, but I'm not a cream cheese guy, to be honest. But I know a lot of people who use that as opposed to like margarine butter kind of thing. Yeah. But what about you? Have you heard this?
Oh, yeah. I saw this. I felt a little seen. I was very happy about this. Yeah, man. Okay. I sometimes am a jelly cream. I haven't done it since I was a kid, might I add. This is definitely a childish food because it's such a sweet, fattening concoction. And, I would love to indulge in that nowadays, but I don't really think of it when I open the fridge. But this is one that my grandma introduced me to. I love this. So, yeah. Shout out to the cream cheese and jelly bros and sisters out there. Your friend's not crazy, Dragon Paul.
Yeah,
I think she's just right.
Yeah, I think so. Little bagel, throw that joint on a bagel.
Yeah, cooking. All right, Cog, time for health as well.
Yes, sir.
AJ White with a health warning. Hey, Dukes. I have a bit of a health as well to write in. Maddie, I sympathize with your eye troubles. I'm happy you're recovering well and found the fix. Yeah, I don't know if I said this, but it turns out it was allergies. I had like a cyst forming on my eye. Yeah, it turns out it was allergies, and I guess it constricts the blood vessels, which leads to the cyst forming. So they put me on, not put me on, they told me because it was prescription. Now you can like buy it. It's called Pataday.
Okay.
Like an eye drop.
Okay.
And dude, complete relief, first of all. I thought my eyes were strained because of like my work. I was like, oh, I just have really bad allergies because it was an allergy relief eye drop. And so I went ahead and used that, and I haven't seen the bump on my eyelid since, or my eyeball since. So
nice.
Lucky to have found a fix quickly. 8 months ago, AJ White writes, I caught a wire to the eye, and I've had intermittent extreme eye pain since. Basically, my cornea partly separated from my eyeball. And if it isn't kept moist, the cornea, quote, gets ripped off, end quote, when you wake up. We've tried almost everything, my ophthalmologist, and I think we're finally on the right track towards recovery. 3 weeks with no pain. That's good to hear. Anyways, hope this wasn't too long. Not long, don't worry. But a reminder to everyone, wear safety glasses. Please don't have a sleep is when the eyeball heals, but waking up is when it re-tears kind of day. Yeah, it sounds fucking awful.
That sounds awful. Yeah. AJ, damn, man. But I'm glad you're able to, get through that with the ophthalmologist and you're on the right track on recovery. That sounds brutal.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm glad you're covering, but yeah, everyone wears safety glasses. This is
yes, sir.
It's so easy to not consider protecting your eyes. Trust me. I remember when I was doing when I did landscaping. I remember I was wearing safety glasses and I'd be like weed whacking, dude. The amount of times like these pebbles would fly up and just nail the glasses, like it was so. I mean, it hurt like a bitch still because like my eyes may be covered, but this thing still like I'm getting pelted in the face. I would get like really pissed off at nature. I was like, man, why are you doing that to me? But yeah, it would have been so easy for me to get hit in the eyes multiple times, but I wasn't wearing my safety glasses. So
I feel you, bro. We got to do it.
This is a really important one. It comes from Jake Banks. He writes, "Good day, Dukes. I never write in, but I have an important confession to make. More often than not, I skip the health is wealth segment of the show. However, that's about to change. I struggle with a drinking problem and have done so for the last 6 years. Most of my problems I could direct back to drinking in one way or another. Drinking rarely begets good fortune. Drinking has kept me from gaming too. Never buzzed enough to start a game, never sober enough to enjoy one. Habitual drinking is a vicious cycle, none too wise to approach if your hobby involves concentration and coordination. Obviously, I think health is wealth is an important part of the show, but as someone who struggles with many aspects of life and health, I sometimes just want to block out the good advice from the outside world. Advice that I already know in my heart. Ignoring good advice is a bread and butter coping mechanism to avoid feeling guilty or weak. I finally understand how mom and dad must have felt when my brother and I would point out the Smokers Quit line ads on TV every time they aired. Late last week, I rolled my ankle pretty badly while mowing the lawn and spent the night going room to room at the hospital without sleep trying to sober up. I'd been drinking heavily before the accident. I've been more or less bedbound for 5 days now. I'm using this time off to reevaluate some of my choices. It's time to take back control, and though I don't game all that much anymore, both Mafia 3 and AC Odyssey have been great company these past 5 very long, very sober days. And the Dukes have been right there with them, including the Health is Wealth segment. Thank you for all that you do for us each week. Well, this is a powerful one, man. You know,
Yeah.
I never considered this angle, frankly, that this would be, like something someone would avoid because they, not that anyone has to hear it, but they know it's maybe helping, but they don't want it because it's better to kind of stay in that comfortable area, even if that comfortable area isn't doing you, really any good. So, first shout out to Jake, right? Shout out to Jake for I think a lot of people are hard on themselves and it's understandable, but you recognize the problem. That self-awareness goes so far, man. It goes so far. So be proud that you caught yourself, right? I don't know if there were any conversations you had personally, but be happy that you caught it and you're choosing to change your fate. There's something very powerful in that you should be proud of. And like you said, you're taking your life back, man. I'm sure you're going to be way into gaming now because it's going to be a good way to pull you away from any sort of urges that you may end up experiencing. And we've had write-ins. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Someone wrote in about being sober for about a year by that point in time, and just how focused and renewed they felt. They started incorporating exercise. They were having a kid. So, man, time can do a lot of things to heal us. And you definitely just know. I know right now it feels like you're going to be fighting this long uphill battle, but eventually it won't feel like that. Eventually, you're not even going to think about it. And you're going to be living your best life. And it's amazing what can happen in such a short span of time. So just, stay strong in that regard, man. But thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, shout out to Jake, man. I really want to double down on the thanks because, there's a level of honesty and transparency and self-awareness that we have to give credit to. And, the fact that he said, hey, I was avoiding that segment. I didn't want to hear it. Because sometimes when we're in that non-acceptance zone where we're spiraling, we don't want to go hear the good advice. You want to avoid it because that guilt is what you're supposed to be doing to correct said issue, right? And that's a level of honesty and awareness of where he's at now. Where he's like, no, I got to take control back of my situation. And the reason why I also want to shout him out is my shout out to lordsofgaming.net, my former editor. He won't be upset because he's making a lot of changes. My man Nick Downey, and love that guy. And I've known him for a long time. And what was so cool, I remember we did a PAX West, and this is a person, Irish guy, he like to get his drink on, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm a social drinker. So I remember when I saw the change and he completely changed his life, he, got help and, he's putting up his progress on Twitter, on social media. Hey, 3 months sober, 4 months sober, or super dope. And then when I knew he was real, I never forget, and I'm going to give him some love right now if he's listening, is we had a PAX West event. It was kind of like a mixer, a lot of content creators, stuff like that. Your man Ben Starr was in the building, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. But so we there, and it's just natural. Things are flowing. People are, hey, what you want? An open bar kind of situation. And my man stood right there. And I said, Nick, you okay, man? I was thinking about it. I'm like, this is really, he's like, Cog, I'm good. He's like, let me get that water, please. And I was like, okay, cool. The whole night, that's what how you see a change in somebody when you know them prior? The discipline. And I'm like, brother, I'm so proud of you right now. I've seen the change. So that's why I want to say, Jake, it can be done. Because my man, you know what I'm saying? He was outside and now he made major life choice because he told me, he was like, if I don't do this, the doctors were telling me it's going to go a certain way for me with my health. Yeah. And I was just blown away, man. If you go follow him on Twitter, man, I believe at Nicholas Downey, that's my man, man. Salute to him.
He's a great dude. Yeah. I don't want to trivialize others' problems by sharing my own, in that I in college drank a shit ton. I think many college students do. But for me, it was I guess you could say social drinking, but anytime I went to a party, I got fucking hammered, right? And every day I would wake up and I would be very extremely depressed. And I thought I was just going through something emotionally at that time. And I think it wasn't until I realized I'm basically like fucking poisoning myself, it's at some points on a nightly basis that I was like, oh, okay, like I don't drink anymore, dude. Like I hate drinking. I don't hate people who do drink, by the way, just to make it clear. But like I just, dude, I had like my first sip of alcohol a couple of weeks ago, and like years I was like, I hate this. Like, yeah, like like there's an anger that might build up in you, Jacob, just like what it's done to you, right? And just like walking away from that firmly. So,
I respect
it again, no shame to anyone who does drink. Definitely, good. I feel more responsible with it now. I don't think I had like a drinking problem in the traditional sense, but more like I couldn't control my drink once I like started getting going. Right. And as a 21-year-old would do.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Full said.
And I want to shout out, I want to actually call myself to the carpet in the sense that, look, I am a social drinker. I'm not a person that drinks in my house by myself at all, right? But let's just say, I'm at an event or something, I'll have it. But one thing that I had to learn is I used to be offended when people be like, yo, I'm good, I don't want to drink. And I'll be like, come on, bro. Like, you try to have some feel good moment. I had to stop that. I'm like, bro, I got to respect that person. They don't want to partake and they know themselves. They're at that point kind of thing. And I said, you know what? That's cool. And the key thing with me is moderation. Like if I do go out, your limits, because dudes get into situations, they act different. And then also that part.
Yeah. I like how the sirens hit right.
They was right on cue with me.
Yeah,
right? That part.
More poetic. Yeah, Jake. And hey, last thing, man, is I don't know what the, when you rolled your ankle while mowing the lawn, like what that situation looked like. Like maybe you just completely rolled over and didn't even like come close to it. But you could look at this, man, as you got very lucky. I mean, you're operating something that could have chopped your arm off, could have chopped the hand off, could have cut you bad, hurt you bad, essentially killed you. Yes. There's a lot of ways you could look at this. Again, I don't know how your fall went. And if like your lawnmower just immediately turns off when you let go of like the I think the choke or whatever it's called. But I don't know how it went, but you could look at it as like you could have really got hurt. You're lucky to have just rolled your ankle and had this moment to reflect. It means there's, in my opinion, greater things in store for you. So, just keep that in mind, Jake. Best of luck. Continue to listen to the Health is Wealth segment. Stay focused, stay determined. LSM community's got your back. They support each other really well if you want to get involved in that way. And continue to write in every now and again and just update us on how you're doing. And we look forward to hearing your success story on the show, sir.
Absolutely. That's love. This episode of Defining Duke is brought to you by Rocket Money. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions. But get this, the real number is close to $300. That is literally thousands of dollars a year, and half of which would have probably forgotten about. Thankfully, I started using Rocket Money. They found a bunch of subscriptions I completely forgotten all about and then helped me cancel the ones I didn't want anymore. Dukes, you know how it is. I go through my monthly bank statements and credit card history, and there's always some reoccurring subscription that I either forgot about or now is charging me a little bit too much more than I'm comfortable. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscription, saving members up to $740 a year while using all of the app's features. So Dukes, what are you waiting for? Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Duke. That's rocketmoney.com/Duke. rocketmoney.com/Duke.
All right, Meatball, he's got the write-in for you, Cog, for our final Health is Wealth part of the segment here. He says, greetings, Dukes. I need advice from the one and only Lord Beefy this week. He's looking like an absolute unit lately. Sounds, I don't know, bro. Is that a compliment still? Because like when I hear someone get called a unit, it's like they're usually just like big, like not like you're in like great shape, right?
in dude bro terminology, unit is the highest form of compliment.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that is the highest. So shout out to Meatball on that. I've been in my bag lately physically. I've been in my bag.
Nice. So. He says, I've lost around 25 pounds over the last few months doing cardio only. I want to start mixing in some weight training. Only problem is I'm a total beginner and don't know anything about form or safety. Do you have any words of wisdom for someone like me? All I have are some dumbbells for now, but want to buy a bench as well. Thanks. P.S. Sorry, Maddie. I'd ask for your advice, but you're looking like the soggy noodles I throw at my fridge to tell when the spaghetti's done. This is fair. It's okay. I'm not remotely muscular at all. So please ask Cog. I do know stuff about strength training, but it's okay. I would ask the guy who's jacked too.
Listen, let me check Meatball right quick. Another mistake a lot of guys make is when they look at another dude's physical appearance and think because they're jacked, that means they're healthy. Doesn't necessarily mean they're healthy. There's dudes like Matty who are supremely healthy and way better shape. And I need to get my cardio to where Matty's at. You know what I'm saying? So health is
we balance each other out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But now shout out to Meatball. That's the whole beat. I appreciate the love. You know, I've been in a consistent thing. But for you, look, people don't realize like years ago, I didn't start weight training probably until like mid-20s. I was the quintessential skinny kid. I was probably skinnier than you, man. Like I was, like I never worked out. I just had wide shoulders. And people told me if I worked out, like that's one thing that's what I'm blessed with is like traps. Like I don't really have to work out traps that often and they'll pop. So what you realize we all have our strengths genetically, right? One of the ones I don't have is calves. That drives me crazy. So I double up. So what I would say is the first thing is you're doing weight training. You said you got dumbbells and you want to buy a bench. That's fine for at home. If you're not going to do the gym stuff like thing, there's a ton of videos and stuff like that and all that. All I would say is this is how I started, right? Obviously, correct form is key. Don't bro it. Don't be like, yo, I'm just trying to go extra heavy to put on this weight. The key thing is form and repetition, strict form. And the other thing, slow, negative concentric contraction stuff when you're doing your weight. Because a lot of time, let's say, for example, you're doing a curl, right? Dudes are just swinging the weight and doing all this. Staying still, control form, taking your time going up and down, pausing at the top, pausing at the bottom. All that little stuff with lesser weight will get you bigger gains. People don't realize it's not just about throwing heavy weights and dudes going up to you like, yo, how much you bench, bro? You don't have to bench as much as them. You just have to have correct form. But what I would say is, I would start very slow, go extremely light. Because another thing too is, here's the thing. My general rule of thumb is 4 sets. Usually I'll do 1 set extremely light, right? Just to get a feel of what the exercise is to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Right. Then I'll go up and wait for the other 3 sets from 6 to 8 reps if I'm trying to, bulk. Right. But usually if you're just trying to maintain or you're trying to cut, because it seems like he's lost a lot of weight. So I would go in that 10 rep range for a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? This way you're burning more as opposed to trying to bulk. But it's whatever your goals are. You can hit me and stuff like that. A lot of people ask me, like, because one of my strengths now obviously is arms. So bro, what's funny is I'm proud of this because I never had big arms. Ever. Like that was
I only know you with big arms.
That's if you like, bro, arms, I used to hate doing arm stuff. I always had little arms. Like, bro, I worked my behind off to get big arms. So the thing is, I got people ask me like, what do you do? And I was like, okay, I'll tell you some tricks. Decline skull crushers. That took me to the next level with my triceps. You know what I'm saying? I got this other thing where basically it's like I do 4 sets of 10. But it's actually an exercise I made up myself. I've never seen anyone do this. So basically, you have the bar at the bottom of the thing, and I'll do 7 half reps like this, 7 half reps up top, and then a full 7. Right. So I just call it the killer sevens.
You do like a variation of the 21s.
Yes, that's my thing.
You lift it up and
yes. So again, I'm doing half reps. Yeah. Half reps up top, and then I'll do the normal full rep all after those half reps.
Yeah.
The arms are fried.
Yeah.
Fried. So I got a lot of little tricks that I've done to kind of stimulate muscle growth and stuff like that. But everything else is pretty much conventional. And just like I said, ask me for specific tips and stuff like that. I'll try my best to help, or specific exercises for weak points.
Yeah. I'll just throw out there, Meatball. I know you don't want my advice, but look. Smith machines if you're new.
Yes, machines, good call. Good call.
Machines if you're new. If you're really worried about form, these keep you in line. And I think a lot of people like frown upon Smith machines, but I think they're even great if you're like really into the thick of things, or like but also same if like you're rehabbing an injury and you just want to make sure like your form is just right, and that you're because the free weights, like there's a lot of micro muscles, fibers just going, like, you can be slightly out of place and really feel it. So absolutely. Yeah. I would start off with if you're going to bench. That's actually fantastic advice, because when I started, I was machines first. I did, because basically you got to get you're putting your body in shock, right? It's basically what you're doing. Your body's like, oh, wait, what are we doing? We don't do all this. And it also helps with that form. That's great advice. And then you can kind of build up when you're really trying to bulk for free weights. But it's a good start. I will also say the ramp up strategy. I don't know if you agree with this, but like I like, for example, when I was going 5 days a week, I didn't start there. I started at 3 and then built into 4 and then built into 5. Not like super long term, just
Good
like,
point.
but like
Good
a couple
point.
weeks at 3, just
Yes.
getting your body used to
Used
being
to it.
worked out.
And what it is the recovery there, because when you start working out seriously for the first time, you made a great point. I had to do only 3 days a week, and I had to space it between the day to get my body time to recover. You got to get your body used to it. And then the other thing is working different body parts each subsequent thing, so you don't, overtrain and hurt yourself. That could lead to injury.
Yeah, find yourself a good protein powder, good BCAA if you want for that the amino acids to just get rid of a lot of that burn, a lot of that soreness. If you're like me, I hate that. If there's one thing I despise about going back to the gym, it's the T-Rex arms. So yeah, if you want to avoid that, BCAA drink helps you out a lot with that. So good luck, Meatball. Let us know, or let Cog know if you need anything.
Salute.
All right. Next up here, Cog, it's time to get into some gaming news, and let's start off hot. We're going to talk about Stalker 2, which got a deep dive of 30 minutes of gameplay. SFish616 has the write-in. Hey, Dukes, there was a Stalker 2 deep dive today, and hot damn, I was very impressed. The game has looked good for a while, but the systems and almost immersive sim elements really seem to stand out in today's gameplay video. I think this game could be a sleeper hit, especially with more perceived hardcore games finding a lot of success recently. Examples like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring come to mind, the insane success they found. Not saying it's going to be game of the year, just saying that I hope it finds a lot of success. What do you guys think about the gameplay, and what do you think about its potential? Really looking forward to the fall and getting to new games consistently, so that way it hopefully helps drown out all of the BS that's been going on recently in the gaming sphere. Have a putting on a pair of Crocs at the end of a long workday just hits differently kind of day. Damn, man, you had such a good ride into.
I know, then you violated.
You had such a good ride into, and then just let it rip. Sir, have you had a chance to check out this new Stalker 2 deep dive?
Yeah, I was surprised to see this. I didn't know they were ready to. Obviously, we knew about the delay, right? But I didn't know they weren't ready to show stuff right now, kind of thing. And look, not on the record, I've actually got a chance to play Stalker, and at the time I saw, I'm like, okay, I see the potential here, but need a little work. That's how I felt. And boy, this latest trailer, this latest build, a lot of engine improvement, a lot of immersion. It looks so much better. So I think the time has paid off. So yeah, I'm excited. It's definitely hardcore. It's like super. It feels like super hardcore Fallout. You know what I'm saying? In that kind of post-apocalyptic world. I like the actual map system with which Fallout, but it'll give you the indicators of where the enemies are coming. I saw that thing where the dogs are swarming and they were setting up traps and doing all sort of stuff. So look, it looks super immersive. It is very difficult for what I was playing. I was trying, like, the developer had to kind of like, all right, so you might want to go over there, kind of.
The humbling moment where the developer's humble, like, you got to go over there, bro.
The humble backseat driver, because I didn't know what I was doing. So he hit me with one of those. But now, look, it's shaping up better. Like I said, I hope they land this, man. I'm pulling for this studio. We'll see what happens. But, at the end of the day, the game has to be good, right? So we'll see. For what I saw so far for this latest build, I'm looking at it again right now while I'm talking to you. I'm kind of impressed. So we'll see.
Yeah. Again, I've said this every time Stalker 2 comes up, but as someone who covers a lot of Fallout, a lot of people have been very much like, yo, Matt, you got to check out Stalker. And I've been like, yeah, okay. Then Stalker 2 gets announced. Obviously, I ran on the assumption before everything happened between Ukraine and Russia that, like, oh, this game will be out soon. I'll just play Stalker 2 when it hits. And as it got delayed, I mean, it kind of worked out because now they've re-released all of the Stalker games on consoles. It's all like, okay, maybe I can like dive into these first. And I might try to get like 1 or 2 under my belt real quick before the Stalker 2 comes out. But looking at this gameplay, like, I get it. Like, as a Fallout fan, I'm like, oh, I see so much Fallout in this. So much. Like, really in the gameplay and the immersive qualities. And I agree with SFish's read on the situation. I mean, this video is already at almost 500,000 views. It feels like this was kind of the big blowout in the terms of people going like, oh, okay, now we can see how it plays. Because a lot of the trailers were very scripted. I didn't hear much about it when people previewed it. But this gameplay seems to have done a lot for the community in general, like looking at it and going, okay, now I know what this game plays like. Because that's the other thing for me is like, is it, I was thinking kind of Metro Exodus. Like, that's what I was thinking of with this game. Like, oh no, like they have this huge open zone. It's pretty much open world. And for me, in a Fallout-like game that's open world, I will be all over that. A lot of different systems ongoing in this game. It's going to be fun because it looks familiar, old school, but very new too. New in its visuals, new in some quality of life improvements, it seems. But when it comes to the gameplay and how it flows, it feels old. And it looks like in a good way. We'll see how it all pans out. I'm curious how into the story I'll get. That's the one thing I'm a little unsure about, but I think that'll kind of make or break its greatness for me. But overall, like in terms of enjoying time, I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun with Stalker 2. So that 30-minute deep dive did a lot of developer interviews in there as well, which I did not expect. I thought it was just going to be a lot of gameplay, but which it was, but no, they had a lot of developer comments on top of that. So definitely recommend checking it out if you're even a little interested in Stalker 2, because I think this will push you over the edge. Again, this is day one Game Pass coming in November. Yes. And counting down the days now, this looked really good.
Yeah, man.
But I think I know what you're counting down the days for more than that, Cog. Have you seen the Starfield vehicle gameplay leak, sir?
Yeah, shout out to you for me on game and the notes. And I was just like, all right, let me go research and see where this thing is at. And yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little jeepity jeep with the hoppity hop over the man. This is one of the things that again, legitimate nitpick, if you want to say, about Starfield as far as, planet exploration, right? A lot of people just got tired of just hopping and boost packing over, long distances and stuff like that. And to see them implement this, I'm like, man, this could be big. And I did like the fact that you kind of could catch air, you know what I'm saying?
I was surprised by the gravity affecting the vehicle, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. So yeah, now my only question is, okay, how do they incorporate that when, obviously you're dealing with alien life forms and stuff like that, what the hitboxes, can they damage you inside? Like, I'm just curious now, the interactions, right? That kind of thing. But yeah, this looks cool. I'm ready. I cannot wait to play Starfield again. Like, I'm just dying. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm like, all right, soon, just give me that Shattered Space release date, please. I'm ready. But yeah, this is gonna be sick. This is gonna change the game.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Mako from Mass Effect 1. Like, that's immediately what I thought of, especially the way it was just rattling around the environment. Only thing I can see being a problem is, there were so many rocks on that planet. I'm like, dude, I'm crashing into at least 8 of those easily. No doubt about it. So yeah, the vehicle does look great. A lot of people were like, this looks better than I thought. I said, look, y'all, like, I get if Starfield was not your cup of tea, but like, we got to start. There's some level of props that are deserved for this game. Like the spaceship combat, like that spaceship controls very well. Someone who previewed, I should say, Star Wars Outlaws. Look, man, like that game has spaceship combat. It's functional, but it's super arcadey. Like Bethesda pulled something really, really impressive off, especially when they couldn't do horseback riding well in Skyrim. Do that in Starfield with the spaceship combat.
Yes.
So in my head, like, I had no doubts that they were going to get the vehicle gameplay right on the ground too. But a lot of people I saw were really like, wow, this actually looks kind of good. I'm like, wait, like, again, I'm like, did you like try the spaceship stuff? I get differing opinions, of course, but a lot of people were like, I feel like it wouldn't be surprising if you experienced what the spaceship combat did, the controls, the depth of it, the attention to detail, even. I'm very excited for it. I think it looks great. And what I'm interested in, Cog, is they're dropping this update, it seems, before Shattered Space, right? So I'm wondering if they built Shattered Space in mind with vehicle.
Yeah.
If that there's going to be those big expanses to travel. I did not consider that until now. So yeah, very exciting.
I'm very excited, and I think that interesting. I love the perspective. I'm curious if they'll let us. You think they should probably let us pull back as well, right? You think they let us pull back, almost like how when we play Starfield, we could do third person. So I'm curious if they let us pull back or not. Even if they don't, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious.
Wait, was the gameplay you saw, was it in first person?
The one I saw was in the Jeep, but
I saw in. Did I see it in third?
I'm gonna send you what I saw there.
Yeah, send it to me. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, the joint I saw, it was like literally like a first person Jeep. Like I'm right on the windshield and I'm low to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking. I think I'm crossing up is the screenshot that came out that was in third person versus the gameplay that was in first person.
Okay.
Maybe I saw it then. I think I saw the same one as you. I don't know if there was more that leaked beyond that. It was on like a sandy planet.
Yeah,
Right?
like a sandy joint with a lot of
then,
rocks and stuff. I
Yeah.
think, okay, so we saw the same.
I was just misremembering it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that was pretty much it. And then the other thing I was saying, I'm glad you mentioned the ship combat in reference to how great it is in Starfield, because again, as a person who's played those, I have actually a lot of experience with playing those space combat, dog fighting. Like I come from, my OGs remember, this is a game called Wing Commander, right? Some of the best space dogfighting combat. Starfield is on that level and also surpasses with a lot of stuff in terms of ship-to-ship combat, taking on multiple enemies, targeting, all that stuff, boosting. Like Starfield ship combat is definitely S tier to me. So that's why I'm glad, like you said that, because I'm like, don't forget who they are. Like this is Bethesda, dog. So yeah, absolutely, man. I'm very excited to see how they implement this thing.
100%. Me too. Looks really good. And my prediction stands is that when we get to Gamescom, they're going to shadow drop the newest update.
Woo!
And
release date.
And then we'll get the release date for Shattered Space, which I think is going to be early September. And then
give me September, bro.
Dude. Man. I mean, what other window? I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like you just do it on the 1 year anniversary of the game's release, like September 1st. Just
give me that I know music. That anniversary flex sort of.
The anniversary.
They gonna like me. I'm gonna be very annoying.
Dude, if this expansion is good and people start like really, loving on this thing, we will be insufferable. There's no doubt. We're gonna bring people back to last September where you and I were fighting for our fucking lives on the show. There's anything nice about Starfield, please. These dudes. All right. Well, beyond that, we have more Bethesda news. All the Doom news from this year's QuakeCon has dropped in. There's a lot here. For starters, Doom 1 and 2 have combined for a new single release, and also it's now available on Game Pass as well as every other system if you want to go ahead and buy it. It features online cross-platform deathmatch, co-op for up to 16 players, mod support, as well as an in-game browser. It includes a brand new episode called Legacy of the Rust with new weapons and demons made by id Software, Night Dive Studio, and Machine Games. The game is at 4K 120 FPS with new accessibility options, and existing owners of Doom 1 and 2 can upgrade for free. Plus, it's also been confirmed that Doom Eternal is going to be getting official mod support where players can use the same tools that the game that made the game, and players will be able to check them out via an in-game mod browser, which is available now. And last but not least, Doom creations are coming to Starfield. This is from King Ath Creations, who just dropped the Bard's College expansion, which I'll talk about later in this episode for the What We're Playing section. But I will just say it is like the best creation I've ever played. It's so fucking impressive. So I'll just say, for those of you who are deep in the BGS community and like want more official feeling content for modders, follow King Ath Creations on Twitter. Watch for whatever they do. So like immediately I saw they're doing this, I'm like, buying that. Easy. So yeah, a lot of Doom at QuakeCon expectedly. No Doom the Dark Ages. There was a rumor floating around that there was a kind of private presentation that happened with like press for Doom the Dark Ages, but no official word yet. No leak from, I'd say, a very credible source. So with this COG, we have a lot of Doom news here, from the 1 and 2 re-release to Eternal mod support and creations coming to Starfield that are focused on Doom. So what excites you the most? And what do you think about all this?
I'm hyped. The Doom hype train is starting. And I think for me, I forgot how much Doom is important to me. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But, as far as seeing all of this, and then obviously Eternal, and then what the hell they putting in Starfield with Doom? Hold on. What they doing?
They have, I think, a quest or something that lets you get like the Doom armor. And they showed like a brief snippet of it. But yeah, it's coming in again.
Looking like the Doom Slayer in Starfield.
I'll just say this, bro. When we get to what we're playing and I tell you about what King Ath Creations has done with Skyrim, I think you might be spending a little extra money on Starfield when you hop in beyond Shattered Space, because they make some incredible shit. But yeah,
it's the Doom Renaissance. We all see with that the new joint Why am I blanking on the new name? What's the new trade? Dark Ages, right? What's it called?
Yeah, Dark Age.
Yeah,
Doom
bro.
Dark Age. Yep.
That looked crazy. So it almost feels like a marketing push all the way up until the end. It's crazy. We gotta get that next year, right? Like Doom is
That's I mean, Xbox put in their little roadmap 2025.
2025 looking crazy. So yeah, I'm hype. I'm loving all of this. I'm be real, Bethesda now. They the MVPs right now for as far as like they are holding this thing down as far as the acquisition.
Definitely
stuff.
Create a lot of noise.
Yes,
sure.
We're starting to see the fruits of it. Absolutely, shout out to Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Doom 1 and 2 getting a re-release is really exciting. I have yet to try it out, but I'm very excited to give it a look soon because I love the original Doom. I remember playing that on the my introduction to it was the Xbox Live Arcade. That's where I got into it. But yeah, to see like I have the classic collection on PS4 from when Limited Run did it. Now I see this and I'm like, they're definitely going to re-release it again. I'm going to buy it again. So
yes.
Here we are. In-game mod support for in-game mod browser for Doom Eternal is very exciting because Doom 2016 had Snap Map, and it felt like a half step to where Doom Eternal would eventually go. So to have, I mean, a full modding kit for players, I could see a lot of crazy shit happening for Doom Eternal, like new campaigns being made, like crazy overhauls. Like I could see this popping off. So very excited to see what the community comes up with there because Snap Map was already just brimming with potential. Like people were recreating like as best they could Halo Combat Evolved missions and stuff were in there. Yeah, it's really awesome. So very excited to see what the mod support brings. All right, Cog, this one's for you. I know I saw it on the Reddit Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit, and then it got tagged as false. So I just wanted to give you a moment to comment on it because I saw a clip of ILP was making the rounds claiming that Activision was prohibited from pushing Call of Duty on Game Pass. Sean Mason has the right, and I'll kick it to you. Hello, Dukes. In the latest ILP episode, our own Lord Cognito is an esteemed co-host, discussed the possibility Xbox might be prohibited. Sorry, I said Activision. Xbox might be prohibited from marketing Call of Duty as a day one Game Pass title. If this is the case, what is the reasoning behind this decision? Given the focus on promoting Game Pass over consoles, this strategy seems counterintuitive. Best Sean M. So, Cog, your comment on the matter.
Yes, sir. What's up, Sean M? Salute. Thanks for the question. Salute to ILP. Yeah, we had a good panel. Shout out to owner was Alex. We had Delisting Gary from IGN. And we had Paris Lilly, and we all came in. So I think the comment started. I think Alex and I was talking in terms of like, okay, what can Xbox needs to do as far as marketing and just in general. And one of the frustrations that a lot of people have had is been like, man, you know, in their opinion, Xbox should be screaming from the rooftops, Call of Duty in Game Pass, Call of Duty in Game Pass, and just kind of getting that thing going. Now, I started off the conversation by saying what I had heard. And what I had heard is not that they cannot market Call of Duty at all, but not to the extent that we think. And I'm just going to leave that there, you know what I'm saying, as far as what I've heard. Now, obviously, Paris then continued. He actually must have heard something similar and continued to expound on it. And I think that's where, you know, it went left and all over the place with, you know, with virality and stuff like that. That's fine. All I will say is, look, I don't know as far as to Sean's question, to the extent of, you know, why they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And again, just to be clear, not that they cannot market at all. It's clear. If you go to the Xbox page, you see, in Game Pass, we see that. But there are some aspects to it that, for my understanding, they cannot do. And that's what I'm going to leave there. So that's it. It's pretty much, you know, simple, straight, cut and dry stuff to me. But I think where it got blown out of control is people are saying that, they can't do it at all in any capacity. We seen it already. I get that part. That's not what we're saying. You're saying kind of thing. So I don't know. I can only speculate. I don't know if there's something to do with the FTC. I don't know if there's something to do with Sony's marketing as far as how far they could push it or previous things in place. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I was heard, and that's why I believe it there.
Right on. So there you go. There's the official comment from Lord Cognito on the matter. All right. Next up here, just wanted to discuss this, Cog. These next two subjects are more discussion based. There was a McDonald's ad on the Xbox dashboard, and gamers were not happy, requesting that Xbox at least keep it to gaming. Cog, your thoughts on this? This was just pasted on the bottom right, like, hey, you want burger, chicken, fries? Like, they're kind of taking it to the next level, Cog. It's no longer Gears, Forza, and Halo. It's the actual burger, shakes, and fries combo. So what do we make of this McDonald's ad on the Xbox dashboard? Did it bother you to see a non-gaming ad on your dashboard?
I didn't know about this. I'm glad you brought this to my attention. I did not know about this. I saw the screenshot. Someone will put it up there. And look, I get for some this is slippery slope stuff. And like you don't want the Viagra joint in the corner. I'm using Cialis, and I get it. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. It's usually just a press B kind of stuff. But I understand the sentiment of people saying, hey, I don't want to see that stuff on my console, kind of thing. And I get that. I think for me, the only way I think I can justify this is if this is leading to what I hope they may do in terms of a free Game Pass tier. And what I mean is that, like, where you have to deal with advertising, almost like the YouTube regular, where you pay, a premium to then get the, hey, I don't want to see that. Right. So if they're trying to reach more users, right, and they got sponsorships like McDonald's or whoever, and this leads to that Game Pass free tier to say, hey, we have a very, constructed tier for you, but you got to deal with ads in order for you to do it. If that's what it's lead to, I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But I understand, people are not going to like that. They feel that, it's intrusive and stuff like that. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me, but I get it.
I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think it's inexcusable, frankly. I'm not going to throw a shitstorm over it. I get it. It's like right now I'm a paying customer. I'm subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate. I buy my games. I am like I know not everyone falls in that category, but if it's going to go that way, I should not have a single ad on my dashboard. Like, I give you a lot of my money every month, Xbox. Like, you don't need to get marketing money and put a McDonald's ad on my dashboard. I don't get that experience on any other home console. I do not need it. If you want to advertise games like Call of Duty, 20% off or whatever it is, like, you want to do that shit, by all means, that's fine, because it's linked to your storefront. You're trying to sell me games in the first place. Makes sense. Do not try to sell me fucking McDonald's on my dashboard, bro. Like, it's that simple. It's like, just keep, it's like the Game Awards effect here. Like, just keep it to gaming. I don't care what you promote in the gaming sphere, because at least that makes sense. You throw in McDonald's on my dashboard, I guess if I'm here for free completely, like I didn't buy a console and I'm at your free Game Pass tier, advertise away, sure. But dude, when I bought the console and I bought the games and I'm a subscribed Game Pass member at the highest tier, go away. I sign on to not be fucking talked to by fucking advertisers. And look what you've done. So yeah, I think it's bullshit. I think it's stupid, frankly. I don't think they should ever do this again. I know it sounds extreme, but I just think...
You discussed it?
I think it's so dumb. I get the money. You know what it looks like, bro? Mm-hmm. It pisses me off, and people may think I'm being extra about it, but it's because it looks desperate. How much money do you need to do a McDonald's ad on the fucking homepage of your console? Are you that bone dry? I know you're not.
I mean, we did see the targets may not be missed. We did see that games are going up.
Is doing just fine. Thank you, ABK. Thank you, ABK.
45% down, console.
Yeah. They're like, who the fuck cares, right? No one's buying this thing anyway, probably. They're like, stupid McDonald's giving us millions of dollars to advertise on this system. Maybe. But I just, again, dude, they cannot be, I refuse to believe they're this down bad. Hardware's not selling, but their games, I know when we break down the numbers to a finer detail, ABK games are really saving their ass right now. Yeah. But they're making money. They own ABK. ABK games are generating them way more revenue than they ever had. They have more money than they've had in a while in content and revenue service. Like, they're fine. They don't need to advertise on the dashboard. They're just, again, I do not sympathize for them enough to be like, oh, Xbox, you owned by Microsoft, you need to add money. Like, give me a fucking break, dude.
This bothers you.
It's just stupid. Again, go back to advertising games to me. I actually engage with that.
No doubt.
Last thing. You talk about the, what's the term? I can't think of the term. Second class citizen.
Yes.
Vibes right here. Like, here's
really?
Your McDonald's advert. Again, I'm not getting this shit on any other homepage. Like, I'll get Prime Video or stuff, like stuff connected to entertainment. Sure. But McDonald's ad, dude.
That food crossed the line. That was it. Once they do a burger on your screen, that was it.
I could also see some fucking corpo like rubbing his hands, being like, yeah, those gamers are not in good shape. Like, this is a perfect
opportunity to get them fat.
Yeah. To get them fat.
You hungry. Click that.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. I get the sentiment. You know, what I'm saying, I understand. You know, some people just don't want to see that. You know, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
it is interesting to me. The thought process behind it. That
Yeah.
I always like to see why people do things they do. That's all.
Yeah. Again, if it's a free tier, sure. You know, I'm here for free, but I'm not.
I feel like, you like I paid. I don't need to see that. I'm the premium. I get where you at. You like I'm the premium dude. Why am I seeing this?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not one of those people though that like when it pops up on my dashboard, like when you sign in and it's like, hey, Call of Duty's in Game Pass, you have to press B. The people who are like,
okay,
oh my god,
yeah, because dudes is freaking off of that. Okay, I'm glad you said that.
That's I want to clarify.
Yeah, you good. Because that was my only issue. It's like the joint comes in the Game Pass, or it's a new Game Pass release. You boot up your console and like, hey, just let you know, yo, Call of Duty is available right now. Okay, oh, what the hell? Why is this on my like, bro? This is game. They letting you know what's going on. All you gotta do is press this. It's B, bro. Like that. So I'm with you there. I'm good.
Yeah. So we're aligned in that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up here, COD, continuing our little discussion. Are Xbox console sales down as bad as we think? Matt Piscatella of Circana shared this on his Twitter account saying, quote, in the US, PS5 is still ahead 7% of PS4 LTD, and Switch is only 1.1 million units behind PS2 in lifetime sales. Even Xbox Series, for all its known challenges, is holding close to Xbox 360's LTD pace and will get a college football 25 boost. No, the console market isn't doomed. Sheesh. So I thought this was, again, to balance out last week's story and everything, that this was good to see that, we knew Xbox was in line with 360. Obviously, gaming is bigger than it was during the 360 generation. So I think Xbox should still be doing better. But again, good. I think more positively optics across the board for all consoles and how they're performing here. So, Cog, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Matt. Look, I'm always a person that likes to have conversations with proper nuance and perspective. And what we're seeing here is the long play, right? Remember, console life cycle, right? Mm-hmm. And at this particular juncture, these particular quarters, these last two, right, has been really trending down for hardware, Xbox hardware. So I understand what people be like, yo, what's going on, fam? Like, I get that. It's valid to be like, yo, what's going on? But this is great perspective to hear, like, yo, even the Xbox Series S, for all its known challenges, is holding close to the Xbox 360's lifetime to date pace. And we'll get the boost with college football, which we do know. Remember, I told people this is not a Sinister Six game, right? The problem, this generation is uniquely challenged than other generations because the Sinister Six is running out here and they keeping people on PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones. And guys are like, yo, I don't need to upgrade to you to play Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. I don't need to upgrade you. I got Fortnite. I'm just fine. You see what I'm saying? So that's the biggest challenge of this generation. And also, this generation really hasn't done any price drops. Right? Think about it. By this time in the cycle, we're supposed to be getting that, yo, we ain't $500 no more, fam. You're supposed to get that that $350. So we haven't got price drops. Games, the Sinister Six games, which are the most engaging games on all platforms, are still past generation games. And now we're finally about to see like a college football 25, a game that you can't get on PC, that's only next gen only. And then the next one, GTA 6. That is going to be the mover. So once we get those two, let's reevaluate. Let's see what the console sales do then. And then also for Xbox, the other big shot in the arm, which we talked about on Summon Side, is we got to see what Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in their service, what does that do? How does that affect it, right? Then we could have a better understanding as opposed to the doom and gloom. And I get it. I get the nervousness. I get the concern. 45% or whatever these targets are not good. I'm not sugarcoating that, but let's just get a more nuanced information as we come through. So this is good information.
All right. This next one, Cog, I'm very excited to talk about. Wolfeye Studios' new game. Currently no name, but we know a lot about it now. We've seen some in-game screenshots, and it is described as the following spectrum, as PC Gamer puts it. Rafael Colantonio wants you to imagine a spectrum. On the left, you have Dishonored, the series he co-created with fellow immersive sim veteran Harvey Smith. It's relatively linear and tightly mission-based. Once you've finished a level, there's no going back. On the right, there's Fallout New Vegas, a rambling open world. 2017's Prey is in the dead center, open but dense, with some areas gated off until you have the equipment or creativity to get in. Colantonio says the new immersive sim from his team at Wolfeye Studios sits between Prey and New Vegas on that spectrum, saying we favor density over size. That all you need to set, that's all you need to say to rocket to the top of my wish list. Billed as the first-person action RPG game, Colantonio and Wolfeye CEO Julian Roby make the game sound like a return to their roots at Arcane. Quote, we are even closer to that Fallout thing, but still with the values of previous games we worked on like Prey and Dishonored. It's mobility and that kind of physicality, the level design, the world building of those games, but served in a structure that is more open than ever. End quote. And dude, they said all it says all Colantonio would tell me is that it's all the RPG stuff you expect: stats, dialogue choices, XP based leveling up in a what if story set in the early 1900s in America, where a big tech event like some sort of crazy technology from the future came and set the world on an alternate course about 30 years before the game takes place. And so, yeah, it's retro sci-fi. A lot of the tech reminds me of Dishonored, I would say. Very like metallic and kind of junky. They call it whale punk, but that's like their style.
Yeah.
But yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. But dude, I mean, they made Weird West, which I talked about on this show when it came to Game Pass. Weird West was for what was considered an immersive sim. It wasn't bad by any means, but it didn't scratch my itch. There wasn't enough immersive sim elements in how I interact with the environment. And that is what goes the longest with these is like level design and environmental interactivity. And it was just, I felt lacking in both those areas. It was very good in style and in like feeling very original. So it's definitely a game you should look into if you've not checked out Weird West. But this next game is like what I've been waiting for, dude. As someone who is not getting Dishonored, he's probably getting Deathloop again. Redfall disappointed. And now you got one of the mind behind Prey, as well as the co-creator with the legend Harvey Smith, who helped make Dishonored, which is one of my favorite ever immersive sim franchises. Yes, please. Thank you. I will take this game every fucking day of the week. I am just by screenshots, and I know it's words alone, I'm very excited to see more. And I hope this one delivers because it sounds like what we have wanted from Colantonio and his team for a while now. So I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, man. I was happy to hear this news for you. I was just thinking about just like, man, he's got to be doing backflips right now. Like, this is his heart. And, again, I just want to be clear, the circle of life, right? Colantonio, and then here comes Wolfeye, right? With that arcane DNA, that Dishonored, that Prey DNA that, we really want. And I actually like the, I forgot what you said, it's whale punk, whatever, the steampunkish type robot design that I'm seeing and stuff like that. It looks really cool. I am surprised no publisher yet. No publisher has picked up. They kind of put that out there. But that retro,
they're announcing early. They might be.
Yes.
There's always a possibility that they are running low on money. That's
right.
The only kind of caveat here.
So hopefully what we see and what is shown, that, a publisher will definitely take an eye, take a look at this. Man, I'm pulling for them. Because this is what people want to see from Arcade, right? They want to see this kind of stuff. And no disrespect to Deathloop, but I know, like you said, the purists like you and Solve, y'all know what y'all want. Y'all know what Dishonored and what Prey is. And the fact that they're leaning into that, they're telling you this is the style we're going for. I'm really hoping, like I said, this thing gets off the ground and really gets the support. So keep an eye on it. I will be following that Twitter account. The notifications are on.
Yes, sir.
And we ready. We're going to see what they do.
Yes, sir. All right. Can't wait to learn more. Shout out to Rafael Colantonio and the team at Wolfeye. Next up here, interesting one, Cog. Sega is delisting 2011's Sonic Generations as a standalone title. Fret not. The game will be available via bundles with other Sonic titles on Steam and Xbox. Existing owners will be able to still download and play the original Sonic Generations. And lastly, the mods on Steam will not be affected. So naturally, this is a topic I'm very passionate about, the delisting of video games. This is a very common practice. Sega's done it a few times themselves, but other examples like GTA did it before. The GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition arrived. So it's very common when we're about to get a new version of kind of the same game that they delist the old one. So you only have, for the most part, one option to play. I will say, in an era of delisting and taking down games, I'll take this trade-off. It's still available, albeit in a very specific way. I can still access it. It's not perfect, but look, it's the same thing with consideration in real life, right? Like when you just talk, communicate, right? Like keep things open and honest. We're all apt to be more understanding. So when I see something like this, I'm like, okay, you're not just outright ripping it off the market, because then I see right through. It's like you're ripping off the market because it would be inconvenient to you as a company if I went ahead and bought Sonic Generations instead of Sonic X Shadow Generations. So to see like, hey, we get this is important. We're going to delist it, put it in the bundles, and it'll be available there. But otherwise, this is the new definitive version, and it's not going to affect mods. I think it's a pretty good trade-off. I think it's more consideration than most companies have shown, and I'm glad that they value this game enough as someone who loves the original Sonic Generations to preserve it, especially because again, I know some people are like, well, what's the big deal? You're going to get this definitive version later. But I look at Sonic Colors Ultimate, which came out and was very broken. And that was also in a situation where like the original was tough to access. So it was like even worse in that case. With Sonic Generations, FPS Boost fixed that game. Like that's my favorite Sonic game, by the way. But FPS Boost made that game immaculate because there were so many parts where the frames would drop. Same with Sonic Unleashed. It's like the best place to play these Sonic games. Yeah. But so I don't want people to be able to miss out on an experience if Sonic X Shadow Generations just completely duds. So I'm happy that they're at least keeping it around in some capacity, and I think that's important, right? I get it, you got to do your thing for business, but just letting it be available in some capacities right now in a day and age where we're just ripping games down constantly is all I ask for. So that's where I stand on the matter. Cog, your thoughts?
Yeah, not too much to add. I mean, I'm pretty much in agreement with you in the sense of that as long as there a way to access Sonic Generations in a capacity, I am fine. If you delist that, but there's no other place, there's no other bundle, there's no other package where I can play that game on a standalone basis, then I have a problem. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Because it's like, all right. Or you'd have told me like, yo, they made some different version in the bundle and they change it, and now it's not the purity of the first one. That stuff I kind of hate, kind of as well. And so I'm totally good with that. I think we got me thinking, because again, we just did Summon Sign, and you got me thinking about you made me laugh with the Spider-Man original face active. Oh, and it's like, what if you played that and you're like, damn, I just want to play, like, I don't like when they made the Tom Holland version face of him in Spider-Man for PlayStation. So hey, you want to play the classic, this is your joint, you could go back to it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So that's what I empathize with people. When they make drastic changes to the only new way to access it, and you can't play it its original form, but this doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, I just think options. That's all I ask for. I get it can't be perfect every time. It can't, just cushion up against all my desires every time. It's just having the option to be like, I can play this game if I want to. That's all I ask for personally. So I will take this. Thank you, Sega, for at least considering to some extent a level of preservation of the original title. All right, Cog. Up next, this game isn't coming to Xbox. This one's a little hilarious. So we had the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Remaster Collection that came out last year, I believe it was. And now, because, by the way, the physical copies were so popular and went out of print ASAP, like, by the way, a sealed copy of Pixel Remaster on PS4 was like $800. I had a friend who sold it for $2,000.
Damn.
And I feel bad for that individual who spent $2,000 on it, because now we have Square Enix, who just announced Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Collection Edition, which is a physical reprint coming October 8th. It includes a sticker sheet with it. It's the same game otherwise. And it's not coming to Xbox. This is very surprising, because this is one of the games I pegged as a no-doubter to come to Xbox, especially with a reprint, a re-release. I get no physical copy for Xbox. I mean, we've kind of learned our lesson there, I think. But not being digitally available on Xbox with this re-release is, following that partnership announcement, very surprising. I was completely wrong on this one. So I was stunned to learn this. Like, it's one thing when I see Capcom's name attached to it, I'm like, oh, that MT Framework's doing funny things to us right now. But this is Square, man. I thought we were homies, I thought something was changing there. So unfortunately, no collection edition for Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on Xbox. I pre-ordered my copy on PlayStation. I already have one on Switch. So now I'm going to go buy my yacht a couple of years down the line with this shit. So I'm hyped. But Cog, your thoughts on the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster still not making its way to Xbox in its re-release format?
Yeah, it's definitely surprising. Again, this is where my rage. Maddie's raging over the McDonald burgers. I'm raging over. Bro, I am sick of lesser than energy. I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. But all jokes aside, look, I do think this will get fixed, but I am surprised again, and it would lead me to believe, if I had to guess, that there are still some technical issues with these older titles, because it seems to be it's always like a older version of something, right? And for whatever reason, does not play nice with Series S and X consoles. That's what this screams to me. But again, no one wants to hear it because this is a pattern, right? All the time with the platform. And even though it's smaller games and the bigger games are not missing, again, you keep giving people the perception that you are lesser than, that I should go somewhere else to play said games. And there's another game that we will get into, saying later. And then, as far as potentially later, if we don't, it's cool. The Marvel versus Capcom situation, there's a lot going on there. So yeah, look, they've got to fix it. They've got to fix it. They got to get ahead of it. Again, it does bother me to see this kind of stuff happen, a lot. And even though it's smaller games, not the majority, just still clean it up.
Absolutely. Well said, sir. Some surprising news here for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's been confirmed by PC Gamer that players can exit their plane in Flight Sim 2024 and walk around, and not even in a limited capacity. They showed that you can get out of your plane and go on hiking trails and really take in the world. I was like, damn, okay, hold up. This is actually kind of looking, I'm actually very, I wish y'all could see Cog's face right now. I
didn't know about this.
Yeah, I was very surprised by this news, dude. I was like, you know what? I might have to fire this one up. I did not fire up the last Flight Sim, but I kind of feel like they're coming after people like me who are like, yeah, the Flight Sim experience looks cool, but they're adding jobs. You can do specific tasks in the world. You can get out of your plane, walk around. I'm like, that's cool. I didn't expect that. They said that the file size is going to be smaller, or it's going to be more slim.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I heard it was ridiculous last time. So apparently it's going to be a lighter load this time around, which is cool. So yeah, a lot of good news for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 from the PC Gamer interview I tabbed through here. Cog, your thoughts as someone who did boot up Flight Sim, unlike me?
I liked Flight Sim. I really did. Just again, for me, it was more of a technological experience to see how they're utilizing the big maps, how they're utilizing the AI, how I could go over City Field. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. You know what I'm saying? So that to me was just so impressive. And they did have a lower barrier of entry for people who do not play the hardcore stuff. And you can have your assists and all this stuff. So that was for me. Now, when I saw 2024, I got to keep it real with you, Maddie. I was kind of excited because I liked that they were gamifying it. They were like, yo, we got rescue missions. We got ambulance. We got this. They had so many different, I don't want to consider them mini games, but modes that I'm just like, yo, this is really exciting. Now you telling me I could get out the plane and I'm seeing the model of your character walking around, you know what I'm saying? On some third person type joint. Bro, you got my full attention now. Now you want to really get into the gamification of the simulation or some in a first person shooter stuff. Bro, you could exit the plane, walk around, land on every ship. Bro, I like that. I like that. So yeah, I'm about all of this, and it definitely contributes to the emergence. So it is moving higher up my list as far as something that I'm legitimately going to play now longer. Before I just pop in, get my little fix, fly to Tokyo, fly over certain landmarks and places, that'd be good. Oh no! I'm getting in now, and keep that file size there. Oh yes, please, because that was the other thing. That thing would try to dominate your hard drive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy.
All right, well, we got a couple more items to go, and then we'll talk about what we're playing. This one's a small one, but I thought it was kind of interesting just to theorize a bit. Warner Bros. Is looking to outsource their larger IPs in the games industry, and it sounds very similar to, I think, what Lucasfilm Games and Marvel have kind of done, where they went through an era of picking specific developers for specific visions. And I could see Warner Bros. As they continue to flounder and struggle, instead of mandating their teams to do these sorts of things, instead finding partnerships that make sense for them, like not turning Rocksteady into a live service studio. They're pretty much walking the same road EA did with BioWare with them. And so I'm curious, Cog, if you had any ideas that came to mind when it came to a Warner Bros. IP. Obviously, Batman's the first that comes to mind, all these DC superheroes that they have at their disposal, outsourced to any companies. Is there any kind of dream collab you really have?
Yeah, this was a good discussion. Again, it was a very eventful ILP, and this is one Dessa Legary was very passionate about. We were talking about it. Look, I was surprised, y'all. Lord Acquisition is not really in the business of wanting to acquire acquire them, to be honest. So that's not where I'm now. As far as the IPs, which is what is up here, look, there's only two things for me that is of interest. And one is the DC IP. I think that anything DC and you could do something with that, yeah, that's cool. And obviously, as a member of the fighting game community, NetherRealm as a studio is something that's extremely exciting, to me. But other than that, like, look, they're in trouble. Let's just call it what it is, right? Warner Brothers is in trouble. They're looking to sell off that division with Discovery or whatever. Clearly, their Suicide Squad did tremendous damage. They took a big bet that it did not work out for them. My only concern is that, yeah, Microsoft tends to swoop in when you're doing bad and, kind of come through. We'll see. But there's a part of me like, look, we got to be real. Microsoft is under tremendous eyes and FTC regulation right now. And they still got to integrate ABK right now. So I'm going to surprise people. Like, unless it's something that, they're basically giving away the IPs, then all right, fine. Take an IP here and there, preferably anything DC related and anything NetherRealm related. But other than that, I'm kind of good. I'm like, we don't need y'all like that. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't feel the necessity like, they got to get this now, whatever. Now, I will say Tencent is lurking. Tencent is lurking. I have heard that Tencent is definitely interested. And I am curious about the long-term effects of that relationship, if they decide to go there. So that's it. But I'll keep my eye on it. And here's the other thing. It seems like my frustration with Warner Brothers right now is they literally had Harry Potter single-player game destroying Call of Duty in every single game that's out. Yet they want to say, let's go keep making these live services. Like, what are we doing? Like you literally got the Harry Potter license right there, just blowing everything away. I don't get it. Why are we not doing what we do best? Like that's just what I'm at with it. So it's that wave catching, trying to do the trend stuff. Yeah,
100%. A lot of it is like they have the opportunity to make their own success. I would argue, as exciting of an idea as like collaboration is, like they really didn't need to do this at all. Like you had the Lego games at your disposal. You had Hogwarts Legacy at your disposal. You had the top tier superhero game developer at your disposal. Like you did not need, in my opinion, more than this. You just mismanaged it completely into the ground. Obviously, there's some things that I don't know if it's out of their control or not, but I think of like the Wonder Woman game. Like we just haven't heard shit about that. Like I don't know what's going on with Monolith at all. So it's really a crapshoot in that regard. But I would love to see some of their IP just like get out there. Of course, I think that might be the future since they've kind of put themselves in a hole. They lost a ton of money already. They've admitted with Suicide Squad. And so I think that trend will just continue if they are not careful. Obviously, they're going to want that Hog Leg 2 out ASAP.
Oh, yeah. ASAP. Absolutely. And they sitting on Lord of the Rings. They're sitting on with that Nemesis system, which I thought was amazing with Shadow of the War.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. Like they do have a tool there. Like I think of what they did with Free Flow, where they kind of handed it out to teams. Like they gave it to Monolith, and they're like, "Hey, go make Shadow of Mordor." And so you had the Free Flow combat with like a Ubisoft style open world and the Nemesis system. And it was fucking awesome, right? And then you had Mad Max, and they're like, "Avalanche, here you go. Here's Free Flow, and go make a post-apocalyptic open world." Like. They do have a lot of tech they own that free flow combat, as well as the Nemesis system that they could license out. Because for those who don't know, like no one else can take the Nemesis system. So yeah, they better start using it is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what
wouldn't it be amazing? I could see a world where they show up with the Wonder Woman game and there is no Nemesis system. Like I could see a world where they just show up with that. Because I don't even know. I'm literally just shooting from the hip. Yeah. I don't know how you fit Nemesis system into a Wonder Woman game.
That's a good point.
I'm curious. But we'll see.
It's a good one.
We'll see. Couple updates here on Control 2, a Max Payne remake. Control 2 is in the production readiness stage, meaning it's about to, begin. Like the concepts have been approved, while Max Payne's remakes are fully underway at Remedy. So, Cog, any thoughts? Any excitement? I'm very pumped for Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes. I love those games. So. Very excited about them.
Innovative, man.
Yeah.
The slow mo, bang bang kind of J. Yeah, classic. Actually, curious about Control too. Let's see where they
I've
go
never
with that.
played Control, so I'm just,
Yeah, it's on that Game Pass, bruh.
True. I have
Gotta
no
try it, man.
excuse now.
No, like I said, I got to get going. It's a half-eaten sandwich for me, but I liked what I was playing.
That's a good sandwich.
Bro, it's too many games, man. You know how this joint, man. You get
Yeah.
caught up. But
Yeah.
for what I played the first half, I was like, yo, I'm really liking it.
Yeah. All right. This next one, Cog, you already were present for my impassioned rant on the state of Borderlands, but I still had to document the news and do my job here. Borderlands 4 has been teased by Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford. This was pretty obviously on the way. There was also a shot from the movie of the title card Borderlands, and you literally see a 4 for an A. So yeah, they're teasing pretty heavily that Borderlands 4 is inbound at some point soon. I know there were rumors heading into Summer Games Fest that it would get some sort of gameplay reveal, but Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I don't know how much of the team worked on that, but that came out in 2022. So I imagine it'll be at least another year or so before we hear about Borderlands 4. But Cog, your anticipation for Borderlands 4, any experience with Borderlands, for those who didn't listen to Summons On, I already know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, walk me through it.
Yeah, shout out to the OG of the looter shooters. You got to give them their flowers, even if I'm a Destiny fan. You know, Borderlands kind of set that looter shooter genre really in motion. So Borderlands 1 and 2, those are the two that I played. Did not play 3, did not care to play 3. Kind of cooled on the franchise, to be honest. So I really would need to see where 4 is going. And then, you know, you made some great points of Summerside in that. There's a part of me that is concerned for the franchise, because to me, what makes the franchise dope is how edgy and, you know, the jokes gotta land and stuff like that. And we gotta be real. In this current climate, it may be hard to develop stuff like that, you know, and really, you know, land. And, you know, sometimes you made a good point too, where it's like the things that made 1 and 2 special, sometimes they may have like doubled down and overdid it on certain things, and now sometimes too much of something, you know, doesn't make it a good thing anyway. So we'll see where they go. I'll listen to it. The only thing I gotta say is, yo, Randy Pitchford, bro, you gotta chill. You gotta chill, bro. You gotta relax. You're doing way too much, like way too much. And I got a chance to meet you, but it's like now I see why people don't be saying things negatively, because it's like if someone says they don't like your product, and now you blocking because of the movie situation,
directly attacking a journalist, dude.
Yeah, then you know, I don't like to get into the muds. You know, obviously, you know, Paul Tassi, I rock with him a little bit too, but I saw that exchange, and I'm just like, this is too much. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know, I just feel like, look, people did not like that movie. They felt that for whatever the cash grab or whatever it is, they didn't appreciate it. To me, to go publicly and start attacking people for not and blocking some of your biggest content creators in the media just because they did not like that, as long as they didn't disrespect you personally as a man, right? Someone says at Randy Pitchford, all right, fine, fair game, right? You go and defend yourself. That's disrespectful. But they didn't like the product, fam. It happens. You ain't got to go and do all this extra stuff. So that's just me with it. I just don't like to see my OGs fighting in the street. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like it. So that's my only advice to the homie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to talk about Borderlands right now with you know, with what's going on with Randy Pitchford on Twitter. He hasn't posted anything in a couple of days, so I'm assuming someone finally told him like, "Hey, dude, put the phone down, please."
Yeah, put the phone away, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm glad he's pulling back a little bit, because the reality is the movie's doing enough damage to the franchise. You know, you don't need the CEO pretty much battling with everyone. And I mean, I think there was a little bit of an awakening too, in that I really don't think he understood how bad that movie was.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think he understood how bad it was and how inexcusably bad it was, which I've gone in on at least 6 times now. So I'm gonna hold it there. But Borderlands 4, for me, man, it's a level of like, how do I word it? I'm expecting the worst here. All right. I talked about this on Summon Sign. When Borderlands 3 came out in 2019, that was a pre-grifter era, as far as I'm concerned. They existed, but like Twitter and YouTube were not fucking dense with this sort of creative, if you will, or lack thereof, who just, I would imagine, shit on things that were particularly progressive leaning for engagement. And obviously, if the thing sucks or it's done horribly, like by all means, I'm definitely not predicting Borderlands in that case. But my point being is that I think Borderlands 3 narrowly escaped an era where they would have been chewed up and spit out. I think the writing quality has been diminishing since Borderlands 2. I pointed this out in my Tiny Tina's Wonderlands review. No one was really willing to hear it. I think with this movie, it felt very validating for some people who have been saying the writing quality has been bad since Borderlands 2, because it was like on the biggest stage possible. They have written something awful for the Borderlands franchise. And especially when you company like Tiny Tina Wonderlands, T for Teen, Borderlands movie, PG-13, it feels like they're targeting like a teenage audience more so. And it's funny because I loved Borderlands most when I was a teenager. I still love Borderlands 1, but 2, there are some jokes in there that kind of whinge at a little bit that when I was playing this game when I was like, 17, 16, I was cracking up at. So yeah, there's a little bit of growing out of Borderlands, I think, occurring for a lot of us because the series hasn't really evolved writing-wise and has only gone, I think, downward. And so I say all of this because I think with Borderlands 4, if they maintain what they did in Borderlands 3, this thing is going to get fucking torn up online. I know that's not something you're really technically supposed to say before a game has a chance to show itself, but I'm just being honest with what I played with Borderlands 3, and it seems like the same writing team is on 4. I especially now you got a target on your back with this movie. I would be very concerned if I was Gearbox, if the writing is not up to snuff, because I think people are going to, again, feast on this fucking thing. And I do worry a bit about that because, again, it's not, and it hasn't been even Borderlands 1 quality for, that was 2009, 2024. Right. It's been a while.
No, it's a good point. I think it's, we have to be honest, right? It's a turning point for the franchise. If they don't nail this one, it could do serious damage. And now coming off a movie, which, let's be honest, does tremendous damage to the brand. And I understand why Randy's outside. Look, this is sensitivity. When something you create, even though he didn't create the movie, but something that's associated with something that you love and it's getting destroyed, right? The emotionality in you wants to fight back. But to your point, Manny, like, people want a quality game and they do feel like the series is on decline. So I'm very curious to see which direction they go. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Last bit of news, then we'll get into what we're playing. I just want to shout this one out. This is from Maximillian, dude, great creator. And he's doing something really awesome here. It's a Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite mod. Now, what's interesting about this is he's been funding this thing for like, I think 3 months. He said he calls it a 5-figure investment, which, by the way, props to him. That's awesome to hear that he's like paying these people for their work. But it's called Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond. And it is a very comprehensive reworking on the balancing front of MVC Infinite. It has a new title screen. It has a new theme. There's a lot of people who have worked on this saying like this is the best thing I've ever worked on. And it's really, there's an 1.5-hour video. I can't break it all down here for you, but there's a very comprehensive breakdown on his personal YouTube channel that you can take a look at for yourself and just see how they are reworking Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The beta is available now, and apparently you're able to play with other players on this online so long as they have the mod. So I'm very interested to see how far they go, because I skipped Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite after I think they did a beta, and I was like, this thing does not feel good to play. Like, I like MVC 3 a lot. I've not played MVC 2, but I love the feel of the franchise, and I felt Infinite was just off. Something was just wrong with it. I couldn't even contextualize it right now because, again, it's been so long and I played like one part of the game, but I did not like the feel of it and I moved on pretty quickly. So I just wanted to put this out there for awareness. There's also a newer art style that gives it a more like cell shaded comic booky look, like the franchise traditionally did, where it went more in a 3D push with Infinite. So yeah, it looks pretty damn good in my opinion, and I'm excited. I might actually pick up Infinite on Steam just to go ahead and check this out.
Nice.
All right, Cog. With that, we move on to what games we are playing. Sir, it looks like you've finished the job, so let's hear from you.
Yeah, man. Like I said, for most of you who've listened to Summertime, I'm not going to repeat verbatim what I was saying, but I gave bars there. But yeah, Path of the Gods, Kunitsigami is done. And what a ride. What a ride. Definitely, one of my surprises of the year. And man, I am thoroughly addicted to the game. The aesthetic just blew me away. And the thing about this game is, again, I'm so proud of Capcom for experimenting with this, because this is something that if it was, like I said, if it wasn't for Game Pass, I would not have really given a shot outside of, yes, the trailer that I remember seeing on the Xbox showcase, or one of the showcases where it debuted. This is interesting. But look, the game is a piece of art, straight up. It is so well done, from the combat styles to the combos that the protector of the Great Maiden does, to the actual boss fights, to all the enemy designs. The enemies are unique too. They'll do things. They have enemies that'll try to pull you away, or like long distance bomb, you know what I'm saying? The goddess of where she's at and her people, the villager character types that you get and continue to get and continue to evolve. They all have their distinct roles. Shout out to the aesthetic, man. Wow. What I learned, the value of having that, even though he can't fight the monsters by himself, this thing where he slows them. And then I got this other thing that does damage reduce that is truly amazing. The shaman, very underrated character. You keep her close. She can't heal the goddess, but she can heal the other villagers and stuff. And she almost has like a sacrifice ability if she dies and they get cocooned and stuff like that. But the game is a beautiful mix of day-night cycle, night cycle, and then, unpurified villages, and then also the actual boss fights. The boss fights are so damn creative. I have to admit, there were bosses ready that had me on the edge of my seat, that they could, if they get a hold of the god, they will one-shot the goddess.
Oh no. Okay.
And you, first of all, you care about this. Again, not a word voice acted in this game, but cinematics. You care when she's in trouble. But the thing that I had to do, there was one joint that the mechanics was so difficult. And I'm like, all right, how do I beat this thing? This thing is throwing up these sky things that almost torpedo certain areas. And then it was putting up the shield and it's flying around the map. I'm like, yo, this thing was annoying the hell out of me. So I'm like, all right. So I found a strat, and shout out, what I'm telling y'all, if y'all get the sorcerer, do not sleep on the sorcerer. Level him up, max out his ability, max out his skill tree, please. I'm giving y'all game right now. The sorcerer saved me so many times, because he's like having an ultimate ability. He's sitting there, he's chanting and stuff. He can do a little protection stuff in this short area, but he really can't protect the goddess. But when he's leveled up, he get his incantation on, and you hit that. Bro, that cinema come out, he does tremendous damage. So I would highly advise getting him. And I changed the time, and I saw the enemy there. Oh, also, pro tip, work on getting things that damage the enemy's resist gauge. The resist gauge could get someone into a stun lock situation, and then you press right bumper, call the villagers, seize him, John! Everybody, and they sitting there pelting them with me, and we're jumping the hell out of these bosses. So much fun. And pro tip, in Soul skill tree, get the thing called it's like if someone's in a stun, enemy's in a stun state, you can finish them, press Y to do like a finisher. Tremendous damage. There's certain enemies, if you don't have that, I'm telling y'all, they're gonna bombard you and overwhelm you on some stages. There's no way you can deal with all of them without these mechanics. So the game is so well designed. I did a watch through on the making of it. They use real dioramas. They built out cities. This is real stuff that's made. So I know some people might not like the camera. That's a nitpick. But the fact that it is based on something that is legitly built is dope. My only issue with the game is towards the end, they kind of do a mini gauntlet remix of some things you fought already. And I'm like, you kind of padded that part out. I didn't like that. But bosses, ending, narrative without voice, amazing. And then I found out, shout out to my man Jimmy Florida Kid, that's the homie, because we would talk each other every day. He's like, yo, did you get to that stage yet? He's like, bro, I can't. I'm like, oh, did you get to the marsh yet? So I'm ahead of him. I'm like, bro, you gonna be fine. He's like, bro, this boss so hard, I might have to YouTube this. Like it was getting like that, but he ended up doing it. But what he told me that I didn't know, I beat the game. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm done. The thing about it is, New Game Plus, there's another ending. So what the ending, from my understanding, is not the true ending. Because like I said, without spoiling, I was satisfied. but I felt a way about the way some specific thing went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, that's a little sad right there. I wanted to go down like that. But apparently with this new plus, it's some stuff. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to Path of the Goddess, surprise. I'm not going to say it's my Goldie yet. Surprise game of the year. I hope Capcom continues to support this franchise. I can't get enough of this game. I'm still going to play. It's getting into Midnight Suns territory where it's this cult classic game for me. Yeah, I love everything about it. And shout out to the ninja class that they got at the end. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. You know they came for me. I was like, you got a ninja class?
Yeah.
Game of 2024. Yeah, so salute the Path of the God. Absolutely excellent. Loved it. And hopefully, like I said, they support. I don't know if they do a DLC. I know they have a partnership or something with Akami. They doing little updates. They got 500,000 players, whatever. So now that I'm done with that, got to get back to my other half-finished sandwich now. I got to get Still Wakes the Deep done because I'm halfway through. Mm-hmm. And what I like now with Still Wakes the Deep is going down. Mm-hmm. Some of your oil rig coworkers have been transformed. We get into a little Dead Space kind of energy with certain things. But what I like now is being that he's so defensive, you can't fight. You got to use distraction mechanics. You got to use the environment to lure these things away. You got to hide. So a little bit of alien isolation, a little bit of stuff. So I want to get that done, knock that out. And man, that's pretty much what I've been rocking right now in the short term. But I had to get Path done, man. I was just so happy to get that done.
Nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good to have Path of the Goddess done. How long would you say your final play clock was?
Probably about 20 something, probably about 20 hours or so. Okay. It's longer than you think. I thought it was going to be shorter. It's actually longer. And then the game has tremendous replayability because what happens is this resource called Masabi is what you use to upgrade your character and what you use to upgrade the villagers. Now, what's dope about Path of the Goddess on a stage level is when you first play a stage for the first time, there are these challenges that they don't tell you initially when you first play it. Mm-hmm. So they'd be like, yo, have 50 villagers kill enemies on their own. Have the goddess not lose any energy. Have Soul not use any rations to heal anybody. And you find that out after you beat it. So then when you replay it, you get extra bonuses if you do that. You can choose not to do it. And the last thing I forgot to mention is the rebuild mechanic is really cool. It's simple, but it's cool that, again, when you beat a stage and the defilement is pure, you go to the next stage. Mm-hmm. The previous stage, you could still work on rebuilding it and get more resources. You see the villagers building up the shrines and doing this stuff because it's like you cleanse the land. You know what I'm saying? It is dope, man. It's such a unique game. It's nothing like it, and I love it.
Awesome. Very cool. I'm excited to start it up soon. With some travel planned, I've mapped out. I have a Retro Rebound game I'm playing, and it's not a long one. So I'm thinking between the trip tomorrow and next week, I'll have that banged out. And I'm thinking Path of the Goddess will be up next for the LSM trip.
I'm dying to hear your thoughts on it because, like I told you before, someone saying like it is the perfect handheld game. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah. I will say though, bro, because we talked about it on someone's side.
Yeah.
I fire up a ROG Ally cog. I can't do it anymore.
No, bro, that interface sucks.
I feel so bad because I love the device, but the UI, like setting up Armory Crate, like going through all these updates, even uninstalling shit. Like I tried to uninstall these old Game Pass games, and it was like just so needlessly complex. I was like, I just can't with this fucking system right now. Like I'll wait for a revision because admittedly I love it, but I'm falling out of love with it. Steam Deck OLED just, I think. The usability is just so
easy.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking with me today when I leave. I have my Steam Deck with me, and I'm excited to play a little something on there, and just no concerns.
No
concerns, no confusion.
I totally hear you. If it wasn't for native Game Pass, that's literally what saves me with the ROG Ally. And obviously, Steam is fine on it as well. But no, that's a good point. The hoops on that UI, the Steam, I have to give it, is a purely game playing ease of use device. You don't have to mess with Windows. You don't got to do all this updates, all this craziness. It's not a PC. I completely understand that, bro.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's what you've been doing. What's been going on with you?
So for me, Final Fantasy 14. We talked about that pretty extensively on Summon Signs of Fret Not. I have something else to discuss, but when it's so funny how much changes in a day. When I was talking to Brad, I was like, I need a shot in the arm. I think I was like level 30. And then last night, bro, I had a monstrous session. Like, I finished working on the game where we're approaching a new deadline. So I was just like, I need to just kind of like decompress. It was like midnight. I was like, I know me and Cog are doing the show early, but this is health as well, but also like going against health as well. Like I need to decompress, but if I play too late, I'm gonna be tired when I wake up in the morning, and then I'm not gonna get enough stuff done that I need to get done before I travel. So it was like compounding stress on both ends. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna play video games. So I played Final Fantasy 14, and dude, I just got really like sunk into it. Like I was just having a lot of fun with what it was throwing at me. For those who are curious, I'm level 40 now. I've upgraded. My class has evolved. Now I'm a monk. I'm no longer the pugilist.
Ooh.
And dude, I gotta say, like, just getting back in that upgrade rhythm, getting new abilities, new combos. Like, pretty much when you like start up a chain with this monk class, they'll highlight different abilities that chain with that because you're changing forms each time. And so when you do that, like, you're gonna do more and more damage. Now, at first it was kind of 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 4, 3. Like sometimes you get a mixture, but now because of this monk class, it's evolved where I'm like 1, 7, 4, 3. Like I'm just fucking chaining them together, finding out what's best, and just dancing all around these enemies. Shit is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was like very much having fun with it. I was like, damn, okay, this is some good combat. Like I'm starting to see what people are talking about on the combat level, and I'm very much like, I think the level cap's like, I don't know if it's 90 or 100, something like that, but I got a ways to go in that sense, and I'm already starting to feel some of the combat showing up here. Story is slow, expectedly, but the thing that I'm really proud of myself, man, is I've gotten to this level 30 area twice now, where I just like, man, I just can't. I dropped the game both times, but at this time I buckled in. And I said, you know what? I'm getting through this. I said, I'm pushing through this level 30 pocket, because I'll admit, now that I've gone through it 3 times, this is where the game lulls. Level 1 through like, I would say, 1 to 30, you're good. You're unlocking stuff at a steady clip. You're getting new mechanics frequently. Then the XP gains slow a little bit. The new abilities slow a little bit. I would say like level 28. It really feels like you're starting to slow. Story slows a little bit. Like everything kind of coasts a little bit. But now I'm at the point where we're back up on the incline. Like story's picking up. For those who are curious, I just finished uniting the Sylphs and I think Gridania, I think is the name of the place. I just finished uniting them together. So, we're working to establish some peace in Eorzea. And I love the politics of it all. You can tell Yoshi P is a Final Fantasy 12 fan, which I love Final Fantasy 12 now. So like I'm really excited to learn more on that. But I'm just trying to take it for what it is. Like I know this story's not going to knock my socks off. I know it's kind of like required reading sort of material where it's like I just got to get through this. But also you got to just do your best to give it your full attention, which at times I'll admit has been a little tough. But Trails in the Sky FC trained me for this moment. And so I'm up to the task. And I actually did a playtime check, and I have 18 hours in this game now. So I've been just kind of chipping away at it. That's what I've been trying to do, the One Piece approach. Like, there's no quick way through this. Just play it when I want to. Lately, I've been really wanting to play it. So I've been going through it because I think part of it is like I knew I wouldn't be able to play tonight. So I was like, let me get a good 14 session in. And so that was really fun. So yeah, I'm enjoying it again a lot more. I should say this. I've never not been enjoying it, but I'm enjoying certain parts a lot more than others. And so I'm excited to see, like, as this game pulls me in more, like how far will I go? I already kind of want to buy the lightning outfit. I built my character to look like lightning, and I kind of want to buy the lightning fit. And I'm feeling like Cog on that front. I'm like, those cosmetics looking kind of nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see. But for now, I'm a free trial guy. I'm here on my free 99. And Square isn't getting a dime out of me, at least until I finish the base game.
Fair.
Hopefully both expansions too. I don't want to commit too soon yet. Next thing I'm playing, I made a whole video about this, the Skyrim Bard's College expansion. Now this is a creation, which is effectively a mod, but it feels like official DLC. It is so insanely good, like so good that Bethesda's promoting it. It's on like their Bethesda Net site. They put up trailers for it. Like they have been promoting this thing because it comes from Kingath Creations, the same one I told everyone earlier, who's doing the creations for Doom and Starfield. And if you look up like Skyrim and like things that people are missing, Bards was one of them. Like you have all these different play styles, all these different faction quest lines, and the Bards are one quest. You go and get Olaf's verse, you leave the dungeon, you come back, and like that's it. But now it's greatly expanded. You can get new instruments. You can, there's a whole new quest line. There's new skill tree. There's new evolutions to the story and how it's integrated with the main story. Like, it's fully voiced. They've brought back some of the OG Skyrim voice actors to reprise their roles for this. Not AI, by the way, authentic OG Skyrim voice actors, which I just thought was such a cool addition, because the biggest effort here was to make this feel like it's a part of the base game. And if I handed you the controller, Kai, I was like, here you go, play some Skyrim, and this was where you were picking up, you would be like, oh, I just must have forgotten this was part of the game. Like,
that level of integration.
That level of integration, quality, like, it fits. I've never experienced something that fits so perfectly with vanilla Skyrim than this. And it's such a natural expansion. It's like, you got all these faction quest lines, and this was like the untapped one. Now they have this whole new storyline there, and it's really good, and there's choices in it. What's also really interesting about it, Cog, is that the way they use being a bard. Like, if you think of bard, you think of someone singing and playing music and all that stuff, like jovial. It's like, oh no, like, you could be an emissary and be like a silver tongue and go trade information with people. You could go like convince others to do certain things. You could like summon companions into battle with your music and have them fight for you. Like, there's some cool shit in this, dude. It's so good. And it's so funny because Starfield put out that $7 20-minute quest line. And that's not an exaggeration. As someone who bought, paid for it, played it, very bad by Bethesda. Very bad. And this still, it's funny. When I asked Todd about it, he was like, yeah, we're looking into it. Still no changes to whatever's going on with creations on Starfield. So I'm curious if they're just hoping that got forgotten. But I say this because Skyrim's Bard College expansion, if they were taking in any feedback and accounted, it would be here. This is $10. You could easily throw 10 hours into this thing, and it's really good stuff. High quality shit here. So shout out to King Gath Creations, because this is the start of something kind of special that people need to note with games like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Starfield. This is a team that has been formed to do, think of like Minecraft, where they have people making mod packs, or they have Roblox and people are making games within Roblox. That's what's happening here now with Bethesda Game Studios games. And this is like the first real team that's formed together, and they're making content on a community level that's supposed to feel official and is being treated as official by Bethesda Game Studios. So yeah, I just think it's some really good stuff they got here. And if anyone's looking for an excuse to get back into Skyrim, no exaggeration, this is it. This will pull you into a whole new full playthrough. It's really fun. So shout out to the Skyrim Bards College expansion and King Gath Creations. They did an amazing thing here and should be commended for it. It is the best creation I have ever played, hands down.
Wow. That's high praise.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It looks cool.
Yeah. Again, if you're looking for more Skyrim, this is the place you go.
This is it.
100% worth the price of admission. All right, Cog. Those are the games we're playing. It's time for the news. Thin week, but important things to note here. Number one, Tango Gameworks has been saved and is now owned by Krafton. We are going to read the full press release here from Krafton on this integration of Tango Gameworks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP. Here's what they say. Today, Krafton is welcoming the talented people of Tango Gameworks to their team, marking an exciting moment in the company's global expansion and its first significant investment in the Japanese video game market. This strategic move will include the rights to Tango Gameworks' acclaimed IP Hi-Fi Rush. Founded in 2010, Tango Gameworks quickly established itself as a leading development studio renowned for creating the critically acclaimed Hi-Fi Rush, along with the survival horror titles The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2, and the action-adventure game Ghostwire Tokyo. The studio became part of Xbox when ZeniMax was acquired by Xbox in 2021. Hi-Fi Rush, a flagship title for Tango Gameworks, is a rhythmic action game that has captivated audiences worldwide. The game has achieved widespread acclaim, receiving overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. Additionally, Hi-Fi Rush has garnered prestigious awards, including Best Animation at the BAFTA Game Awards, Best Audio Design at the Game Awards, and Game Developer's Choice Awards for Best Audio. As part of this strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Krafton intends to support the Tango Gameworks team to continue its commitment to innovation and delivering fresh and exciting experiences for fans. There will be no impact on the existing game catalog of The Evil Within 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and the original Hi-Fi Rush game. Interesting choice of words there. Original Hi-Fi Rush game. This integration reinforces Krafton's dedication to expanding its global footprint and enhancing its portfolio with innovative and high-quality content. The addition of Tango Gameworks represents a strategic alignment with Krafton's mission to push the boundaries of interactive entertainment. And so, yeah, Krafton is headquartered in South Korea, for those who don't know. They helped publish games like the Callisto Protocol, which I'm sure we'll talk about pretty extensively here, but PUBG most notably. So, Cog, we have a writing here from Tom, the Chosen One. Says, Tango Gameworks is dead. Long live Tango Gameworks. Or so it seems. Buongiorno, Maestro Matty and Count Cog. Hope the boys are having a great day. With the miraculous news that Tango still lives on through Krafton in an acquisition, I'm wondering, apart from popping the champagne, how are we all feeling about this ordeal? As great as it is that Tango still lives on, the deal has me a bit dubious to what Krafton can bring to the table from saving them from imminent closure. The only real games that Krafton has published that aren't a bunch of mobile games are PUBG and not so critically acclaimed Callisto Protocol, which, while nice and flashy, didn't really do much in the end. Do you think they'll give Tango the same leeway to create the next Hi-Fi Rush? What of the other franchises that didn't get bought up, like Ghostwire Tokyo and my beloved The Evil Within? Are there still opportunities for a collaboration with Xbox for those IPs, or has the bridge been burnt to the ground? Very curious on what you guys have to say. Well, with that, I'll leave you both with a very, maybe now that they own Tango, they can actually teach Striking Distance how to make a good survival horror kind of day. Oh boy, throwing shots out here.
Shots.
All right, Cog.
Yo.
Pretty fucking insane news here.
Yeah.
I was stunned when I saw this, that Tango Gameworks had been saved and that Hi-Fi Rush had been saved. So I'm just happy to know that they're still gonna be around, man. Like, I know that this is a missed opportunity in my book for Xbox, that I think they really are losing out on an important team that I think they needed for their portfolio, and an IP especially that they desperately needed for their portfolio. But with that said, this is kind of the way the dice have been rolled, and I think in a day and age with closures and layoffs in mass, we needed some story like this. A miraculous, like, no fucking way this is actually happening. And Tango Gameworks is going to be hanging on here in what is, the outcry was loudest surrounding them. This is no disrespect to the other teams, but it also makes the best of a bad situation. Xbox still does lose a lot of precious talent in teams, but at least one of them lives on. And the main losses are in Alpha Dog Games and Arcane Austin, whereas Roundhouse has been rolled into ZeniMax Online Studios, and now Krafton owns Tango Gameworks. So still a lot of loss on the Xbox side of things, but at least in some cases it's been efficiently utilized in places that make sense, or that keep the studios afloat, or the employment there afloat. So, Cog, what do you make of this news that Tango Gameworks is kicking around? And of course, as we'll discuss here, what do you expect from the future of Tango Gameworks? Because I do have some reservations about Krafton, but I want to hear from you first.
Look, man, when this news broke Sunday, we finished our LP already, and I saw it on my timeline. I'm like, what is going on? This is absolutely amazing. And let's just be clear, no disrespect to any other studio that was closed. We definitely feel for the teams, but we all collectively as a gaming community felt this was really atrocious for Tango to have that kind of a fate.
Yeah.
And we saw how critically acclaimed it was, the awards it won. I said it on before, like, the reason why it definitely hit hard is because we felt like Xbox had their mascot, their Chai 808, that the whole crew. We've done Ultimates, we've done so many things, on this game about the creativity, how different it was. And again, as a huge fan of John Johannes, like, I've interviewed him, he's brilliant. He really is a brilliant mind. And to see the way they were kind of exited just felt unfair in life. Like, just that's not how it's
when they're
supposed
getting started.
Yeah, it's not supposed to end like this. Not like that for them. So kudos to Microsoft here, because look, I got to give myself a little credit. I told people during the Matt Booty interview, when they were asking him specifically about studio closures in Tango, he said it without saying it. Like, basically, there's steps you got to go through before you get to that last step, which nobody wants, which is closing a studio. And one of those steps was kind of like seeing interest, shopping it around. Now, what I didn't know, I thought at that point it was over. They shopped it. No one is interested. Right? So I'm like, damn, thus the fate is what the fate is. Now we get to Krafton, right? This whole situation. It's clear as day to me they value that Hi-Fi Rush IP. Right.
Yes.
It's clear to me that was part of this deal. And it's clear as day to me that there is some level of partnership here with Xbox, whether it be marketing rights or whatever. We don't know the fine details on that. At least I don't know just yet. But it seems to me kind of similar to a Toys for Bob situation. That, yeah, you're over here now.
Mm-hmm.
We still going to get the relationships kind of nice where we can work with you. So I like that part. Now, obviously, the elephant in the room is, hey, what about Ghostwire, my beloved? What about Evil Within, other games and stuff like that? It seems like that is still with Microsoft.
Sure.
And in my opinion, I don't know what they're going to do with that because I think those IPs need a proper home and the developers that necessarily created them. So, look, Evil Within, shout out to Brad, like, John Johannes had a major part on that I believe the DLCs or even working on that game. So very curious to see what happens with that. Obviously, we know Shinji, right, is creating his own studio. I don't know if he wants to do that. So I'm very curious about the future IPs. But look, at the end of the day, all that is, as a game from a gamer perspective, we want to know. I get that, and we want those games to continue also. But ultimately, the studio living to fight another day is the most important thing in this whole thing. And I think this is huge. I think it's huge that they did not give up and try to find them a home. They didn't deserve that fate. So I'm like over the moon with this. I saw John Johannes's Twitter.
Yeah.
He was so like
you
elated.
See the meme someone posted of like the I lived bitch? Like
yes, bro. I was just, man, like that game, it was such a labor of love. And, again, for those who haven't played it and, again, I think about the Corsica fight. I think about the Wolfgang, that beat with the Wolfgang fight is crazy. I think he used the Beethoven drum. I think about the Fields moment trying to get through the barrier, the music. Like, bro, this game is special. It deserves to see a sequel. So, yeah, we will be supporting. We will be rocking. And, Tango, man, I'm just happy. I'm elated because I got emotional. I
was stunned.
I was stunned. I was like, it normally in this age of, let's be honest, corporate greed and stakeholders making decisions that don't have gaming sensibilities involved, right? It always ends bad for the devs. And we just go, another one gone, right? And to see, man, like I was like, I cannot. So many people hit me up, like I cannot believe it. So we got to give Microsoft a little credit here. Again, we don't want to give them credit for cutting down other studios, but for this particular one, this studio did not deserve the fate they had. So kudos to Krafton. And now it's up to Krafton. We got to see. I don't know their history. Obviously, what is it? PUBG and other mobile stuff, but it's clear as day that they valued that IP and hopefully they allowed them the creative freedom to do what they need to do. Don't get in the way. Let them boys cook. It's clear they got something over there.
Yeah, you said everything I really wanted to say on the positive side. Like, this is so important that this happened. It couldn't have happened to, not to play favorites, but I mean, the reality is like this was the most talented team that we lost in that set of shutdowns, and you couldn't have, at least out of any team you could have saved, you couldn't have picked a better one. So I'm glad that they get to continue on. I'm glad that the team is being retained. You can clearly see the value in the Hi-Fi Rush IP, and it made me question a few things. It made me wonder, like, what's the level of success here for Xbox and what they need versus what Krafton's seeing? Like, do they see, like, oh, this actually, if we did this and we had those numbers, we would have been totally fine with that. I wonder about the future of this franchise. We actually had a write-in about this, so I'll just read it real quick before I get into the rest of my thoughts. Minion Joe Rogan writes in, hey, Diamond Dudes, with Tango now saved by Krafton, what are the odds the next game skips Xbox? Have a I want the girl I dumped back, but she's already with a better man kind of day. That was one thing that crossed my mind, just to kind of bring it up real quick, is I'm like, there is a realistic possibility that PlayStation could money hat this, that Nintendo could money hat this. And just straight up, I don't think it'll happen, because I think that Krafton gets this for with the idea of doing multi-plat, especially because now that it's no longer exclusive and it is everywhere. But I just thought of that. I'm like, there is now that open possibility that I think of Octopath Traveler. It's like I had the same reaction you had, like, oh, Octopath Traveler 2 won't be on Xbox. I'm like, come on, they fucking brought the first one to Game Pass right away before it even touched PlayStation. Like, that shit's coming to Xbox. It came to Xbox last in the sequel. So I feel like nothing's a guarantee in this industry, and that like it makes sense that this should go multi-plat, but you never know what deals are going to get struck behind closed doors. Right. So I don't think it's super likely, just by where the IP stands. And I imagine there had to be some sort of partnership with Xbox in that, hey, we're going to sell this to you or give this to you. But I don't think Xbox is just going to be like benevolent, like, hey, here you go, man. Good luck, guys. Maybe. I doubt it, though. Especially when we got McDonald's ads on the dashboard. I imagine that, like, you're not just giving them out for free. Come on now. Come on.
You had to go there. You had to.
Yeah. Come on now. That desperation does not end at the dashboard.
Look, I agree, bro. They listen. Read the verbiage. It's partnership, strategic partnership, or whatever. What is it? Strategic integration, bruh. That means we got you as a seller. We think you're a good fit. You're interested. Oh, by the way, we gonna get some rights here. You know what I'm saying? To the level of it. In my opinion, I would be shocked. I'd love to, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. But I would be shocked if someone could come in here and try to money hat anything when they literally facilitated the studio living and giving these guys the deal.
The verbiage, I'll reread the sentence. I'll tell you what it reads to me. As part of the strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Krafton intends to support Tango Gameworks team to continue its commitment to innovation and delivering fresh and exciting experiences for fans. I read that more as like Xbox is going to kind of help like pass the baton and they're kind of on their own. I don't know if the partnership stretches into the games because obviously if Xbox saw value in funding it or partnering up with it, they just would keep it and keep the team, you would think at least.
Yeah, I guess for me, when I hear strategic agreement, that to me denotes that there is still more than just I will pass the buck off to you. It's like literally, okay, we bought this and we have now acquired this from you is what I would, if I see that verbiage, I'm like, okay, that's cut and dry. That's it. We do what we want after it. When I hear strategic agreement, that to me is corporate speak for we get a little something too. That's just me, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they call it in fairness to your point, in their headline, they call it Krafton strengthens global presence through strategic integration of Tango Gameworks and Hi-Fi Rush IP.
Yeah.
Pretty much confirms Hi-Fi Rush 2 on the way. We already knew that was being pitched when everything had leaked after the studio closures had occurred, that there was going to be a Hi-Fi Rush 2. Yeah. We don't know what that's going to be, but with the investment in the Hi-Fi Rush IP, the specific desire for Krafton to have it, no doubt that they're going to make a sequel to that, which I'm very excited about.
Very excited. We know there's a pitch.
Couple of thoughts off the dome for me.
What you got?
First, with Krafton, I'm a little bit concerned about this because Glenn Schofield, former head of Striking Distance Studio, who was behind Callisto Protocol, said that they needed 3 more months for their game. And Krafton did not give that to them and forced them out earlier. And I do worry about that. And now the one thing I read, or remembered, I should say, that was pointed out too, was Dead Space Remake was on the horizon. I think Dead Space Remake, I want to say, was January. And then Callisto Protocol was the month prior. And we talked a lot on this show about how like you got to get out like ahead of Dead Space Remake, because if Dead Space Remake is good, no one's going to be interested in the Dead Space like game. Maybe it does better, who knows, but I just didn't think that was possible. And so they rushed it out because I think with those 3 months, they would have put them in March, after the Dead Space craze. People had already got their fix, would it have hurt the game? So Krafton wanted to go earlier, and they did, and they forced the game out. And I do worry about that for something like Hi-Fi Rush, where it's like, is this a publisher that's going to give this team the maximum amount of time to do what they got to do and not force something out the door? Like, that shows to me that you're not a great publisher, not a great partner. If, it seemed like, especially because Glenn Schofield worded, he was like, you realize by doing this, you're going to cost, if you're trying to save money by development costs, he's like, I'm going to have to staff up and hire more people to get this done in your amount of time than what I currently have. And they knew that. And so they did that. So it seemingly came down to the release cadence. So this is a company that I think will make some hasty decisions that are not for the best of the product. Like, the best thing that Callisto Protocol could have done was getting that extra polish, that extra time put in, because it actually might have been a little bit more respectable, a lot better. Could have had a lot more going for it. I certainly, as someone who, Dead Space is my favorite survival horror game of all time. No one wanted to love Callisto Protocol more than me. No one was more hyped for Callisto Protocol than me. That game was just really saddening. So I think again of they had everything going in motion for them. Same thing here. Right. Hi-Fi Rush, everything going in motion. Like, the saviors are here. One bit of mismanagement is all this product needs to be kind of like a damn, man. Like, that's unfortunate. So I'm not as optimistic about Krafton as others, especially because that was their like one of their sole big single player publishing efforts versus what you have with something like PUBG, which is kind of their big deal game that generates them all this money to go do these other things, and a lot of mobile titles.
Right.
So, it seems like they have money to sort of toy around with, and they're kind of playing around a bit. So it's funny that Xbox's first investment in Japan is now this company's first investment in Japan. So hopefully it goes smoother for them. That's what I'll say.
Can't predict the future. I mean, I think those are valid points you made. We'll see what happens. Look, I guess for me right now, I know it's probably short-sighted. I'm just looking at the studio gets to live to fight another day.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
To your point, right. Remains to be seen how they're managed, right? How, the deadlines are, how the whip is cracked. That is all valid points. I get that. But I guess why I'm excited is because, let's be honest, Hi-Fi Rush, as critically acclaimed as it is, didn't sell. See? So to me, when I see that they got this level of interest in that particular IP, like, you feel like you could do something with it, right? And then the other thing, in fairness to Hi-Fi Rush,
I know what they could do with it.
Nah.
This phone is going to be so crucial for them. Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush Mobile.
Yeah.
I know. I think they did. I think they did. Did they do PUBG Mobile? I'm not sure.
They did do PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
PUBG Mobile lit though. But not that I played it, but I heard it does well. That's what I heard. But all I will say is, they might milk that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
you might be right about that.
Right now.
Yeah, you might be right. They might be another version. You might have to come out with Hi-Fi Chago and be on that Samsung Galaxy quick. But look, there's also part of me as far as this, the fate of Hi-Fi Rush, the initial one, was I always felt what could have been with a proper marketing cycle. That's all I want to see. With no stealth drops in a service, right? Now a proper marketing cycle, most likely multi-plat. What does that do, right? And now it's the feel good. So that's what I'm hoping for. But again, you made valid points. I have to consider that as far as Krafton.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be excited about here. I just want to make sure I keep my head on my shoulders here. Facts. I think that this is really exciting news, and I'm happy the IP at least gets a second chance, as long as, Krafton gives them the time to do it. If they do, I think Tango will deliver. I'm curious, though, now that we got on that mobile kind of chat, I just wonder how they're going to carry forward the IP. And I think they see more value beyond just console games. I think people should prepare for that reality.
Absolutely.
The other thing is a lot of people were writing in about The Evil Within. Like, what happens to that? What happens with Ghostwire Tokyo? And I think, unfortunately, those kind of just sit in the Xbox bin, where I can't imagine, especially The Evil Within, I can't imagine going anywhere else but, to Tango Gameworks.
To Tango, yeah. I mean,
that's where maybe the partnership exists. Like, think of what happened with Toys for Bob. Xbox acquires them. Toys for Bob goes independent, forms a partnership with Xbox, and seemingly is working on a Spyro game. Could that happen here, where Tango eventually wants to make an Evil Within game for Xbox? I wonder, again, I think it's really up to Krafton now, but I wonder how much desire there is from Tango to do anything for Xbox after everything that's happened, especially because, like, John Johannes was very vocal about, like, Matt Booty saying, like, oh, we need smaller prestige games. And then, John Johannes quote tweeted that pretty fast with a little reaction face. So I don't know how much a factor the dev would play in those decisions if they didn't want to do something, but I do wonder if there's some bad blood there in that. Would the team want to do something for Xbox in that sort of partnership? Whereas, like, Toys for Bob, it seemed like you're going independent. We want that IP. And so the partnership made sense. But now Tango is kind of free of this partnership and has the IP that they cared most about, which is honestly, as someone who loves Evil Within, their most successful IP. Yeah. And so they're good. Like, they don't really need Xbox at this point. So what do you think is going to happen with some of these other IPs that Xbox has held on to? Because a lot of people think, like, well, why, what does Xbox plan to do with them? I'm like, I just think the reality is Krafton didn't want to buy them. Yeah. I'm sure they were up for sale or up for integration or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think Krafton wanted them because the stats are there for those.
I agree. I think this is up to Krafton. I think this is where Krafton is positioning themselves as far as what is actually valuable IP from their portfolio. And this is the sad reality that gamers got to understand. Just because something is a critically acclaimed game and you love it doesn't mean that a corporation thinks it's going to sell and do well or value it. So that's where I'm at. I think that Tango, Yeah, I think Evil Within, if I had to guess, Evil Within has a better chance out of the rest. Sadly, the what I want, which is Ghostwire, I think has the least, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Because I don't know if they want to, grab that. And obviously, just remember, it was a PlayStation exclusive at first, and it didn't do well, right? So, that's what I think right there. But I think this is up to Krafton. It could be one of those things that also the price, we don't know how much Microsoft may sit there like, yeah, you want that? That's going to cost this. And Krafton's like, all right, chill. This is the one we want the most. This is the thing that we think has the most potential. We'll take Hi-Fi Rush. But who knows? If it does well with Krafton, maybe the partnership broadens slightly. We will see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Because I could also see a world right now. Krafton has Striking Distance Studios. They did do Callisto Protocol. They do have some chops there on survival horror where I could see a co-developed effort for sure. Like, okay, let's strike a partnership with Xbox, get the Evil Within, and then these two teams that have survival horror experience work together. Like, there is something there. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but there is something there. That's why. It's the only reason why I thought it would make sense for Krafton to get is like maybe you hand the Evil Within over to Striking Distance, but I'm just happy the studio lives on. We get Hi-Fi Rush, and no doubt a Hi-Fi Rush too.
Yes.
Cog, any more thoughts on Krafton and Hi-Fi Rush?
No, just happy to see, man. That was definitely the surprise news. I could not believe it. So live to fight another day, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
100%. All right, Cog, last bit of news here for the show. Replaced is getting delayed again. I got the developer note up here from the Twitter account. They post, hey, everyone. We'll keep it short. Replaced will now be released in 2025. Our initial release date was optimistic, and we apologize for that. Developing Replaced is quite a unique challenge, and we're proud to be creating something that's special. We need more time to ensure we meet the high standards we set for ourselves and to meet the expectations of our fans. Feel free to join our Discord. We post lots of dev vlogs there to share the progress and are open for a chat. Replaced was featured at Summer Games Fest earlier this summer, and now will also finally be available at Gamescom for everybody to play. Come say hi. To those not attending, we prepared something special for later this week. Now back to work. We want you to love Replaced when it launches, so we have to go the extra mile here. Sad Cat Studios team. Cog, you texted me this and you said you had a lot to say, so I want you to get it off your chest. Fire away.
All right. So first off the bat, I want this game to succeed. Obviously it's on my list. It was one of those things like, damn, why they did this year this bad? I thought it was going to come this year this bad. But the thing about this is that, shout out to King. Me and King got a chance to go behind the scenes on Replaced. And Maddie, this game has so much potential. We sitting there, we like, man, but we did have some issues. And this is one of the rare times that I got to give King his props. Like, we pulled them aside and said, look, X, Y, Z, y'all got to get on this and address this, right? What was told at the time was
you guys. That's not easy to do, to have those kind of conversations.
We're not into the lying to you and like, oh, this is fire. 100%. Like, bro, because we see it and we just like, man, if you fix these.
Well, that's a next level of care because it's very easy at these events and everything to kind of just be like, yeah, it was great, and just move on with your day. Like, that's very commendable.
Bro, and they were so appreciative. And they were just like, look, thank you for. We pleaded with them. We like, yo, you got something here. Just fix this, and this. And then they were like, okay, cool. And then they kind of, again said like, yo, we didn't want to be here just yet. Like, we want more time to cook, you know what I'm saying? Because we feel like, and I was like, okay, and this to me, now I can say it, like, they needed more time to cook. And I'm glad, because if the beauty of this now, same thing in the Avowed, you've got Stalker, you've got Call of Duty Black Ops, you got Starfield Shattered Space, you got Indiana Jones. You don't need to throw these things out to the wolves because you don't got games anymore. Xbox is in this position. Let this game cook. I'm telling y'all right now, there was a scene. It's so amazing that we played and we were like, man, this game has so much dope potential here. So I am actually really happy about this. Like, normally I know people are going to be like, oh, it's delayed again. Bro, if they pull this off, we will revisit this conversation about this particular game. I am pulling for, Sad Cat. And yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But this is such a good decision. Based on what we played, we were like, yep, that was the right call. I had King, I was like, bro, you saw? I was like, yeah. He was like, and King said it to me. He's like, I feel we influenced this one. I was like, I feel so too. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. Like, I've never been that passionate about a game generally, to a developer and just say, hey, please, do these things. And if you got enough time, it would make a huge difference to how it's received.
props to you guys. Thank you for giving us a better product.
I'll take a little credit.
Yeah, no, I get it though. It makes sense. I think Replaced looks really good. I've kind of disconnected myself from the game in that I'm really looking forward to whenever it comes out, but it's just like, once you give me that date, and we are very close to that date where I'm like, there's no way this can move, then I'll become excited, because I'll always remember seeing it for the first time and be like, damn, this looks incredible. And then we saw it again this summer. I'm like, this looks so good. I can't wait to play it. Like, no doubt I'll play it whenever it comes out. But seeing this delay again, I'm like, look, they didn't even put a month on it. They said, we're coming out in 2025, y'all. So we don't know when that is. They have some likely internal deadlines set. Hopefully they hit them. That can be tough, and that they can get this game out. But yeah, I've kind of disconnected from the excitement until I'm very close to that release, and then I'm excited to dive in. But Replaced looks phenomenal. Shout out to the team for getting a little more time to make something special, and looking forward to learning more about Replaced later this week.
No doubt.
All right, Cog, last segment of the show, Game Pass pick of the week. First, we have a write-in from Greats, who says, "Hey boys, as someone who is always battling his backlog with what little time being a game dev and a father allows, I rarely pick up games purely on suggestion from a podcast. However, hearing your thoughts on Kunitsugami convinced me to check this out. It's far from perfect, but I'm having fun. So thanks. Take care. And much love to Dustin and family." Thank you, Grace. We appreciate that.
Salute.
So there you go, path. There you go. Let it begin. This is like your new Marvel Midnight Suns. You're gonna get write-ins every week. Hey, Cog, I tried it out. You're going to start a movement, and then eventually you're going to need a Capcom bag to go with your Firaxis 2K bag.
Look, man, I like supporting the little hidden indie joints, what I consider the artsy-fartsy joints, the joints that don't get a lot of love, or maybe they don't have the marketing that they should. But salute to people trying it and saying, hey, they like it. Not saying it's perfect, but they liking it. Yeah. As far as the Game Pass pick for me, man, it was what we talked about earlier. Doom 1 and 2, man, I don't give it enough credit. Like, I always bloviate about Bungie, bloviate about all the other, FPS kings out there, Machine and all that. But like, bro, it really hit me when I fired this thing up. And I'm just like, Doom was such a benchmark that we had to get, if it was a new version on a new platform, we got it. Because we had to see that thing move, man. The fast pace, the frenetic action. I remember just seeing Revolutionary Time, as stupid as this sound, is seeing his face on the screen, and whenever he would take damage, he'd be bloody, be angry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is so cool. So, like, frenetic, first person, action, the demons, the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Right? And setting up these things. And I'm just like, man, this is a pivotal point in gaming. Then what I like is they got the updated soundtracks now, 4K 120. Look, certain things in part 1, has they aged well in an era where we can shoot up and do all this stuff? No, right? But it's a time when gaming changed and you had first person frenetic energy and hidden passages and just actually, like, I remember like being how challenging the game was when you put it on, what is it, this Don't Hurt Me and Bring On the Violence and all that. Like, bro, I highly, if you haven't played Doom, it's almost like you need to play it to see how far games came. And then this was an inflection point, right? I know people love the Quake, and I get it, but Doom is that game. And now I'm in like a Doom renaissance period right now, where it's like I'm really now so hyped for the Dark Ages and what's about to happen now. And obviously we saw what they did, with the Returnal and all that other stuff. So highly advised. The stuff that they've added is really cool. And then I got to get to the modded stuff as well. So I'm doing my first playthrough, just basic Doom 2, then I'm going to get into the modded stuff. And it's just been so fun. So shout out to Xbox, shout out to Ed. I want to give them their flowers. You guys are off the OGs. I keep forgetting how important you guys are. And I know some people over there now on Medieval Joint that I'm really excited because it's very lordly. We got our shield and stuff there. So I'm in my Doom Renaissance. So again, highly, if you haven't played it, just check it out. You know what I'm saying? Quick download. But it's about a gig download.
Yeah.
Fire that bad boy up. Just see what gaming was about. And it is smooth as hell.
All the new episodes, like, it includes everything from the master levels to new stuff that like Machine Games has made for the games. Like, it's really cool to see what they do with this and Quake. Like, Quake last year recently got like new episodes added to it, multiplayer added to it. So it's just cool to see how this franchise obviously lives on in its modern releases, but also like how relevant the older games are still to this day. It's very cool.
Yeah, salute the dude, man.
Good pick.
Doing 1 and 2 out on Game Pass right now.
Awesome. All right, with that, Cog, shorter episode than usual. Very much works out for our schedules, but also pretty slow news week outside of Tango. If Tango didn't happen this week, I'd be like, yo, I don't know what.
We're in trouble. We'd be talking about peanut butter and banana all day.
But yeah, we managed to make it this far. Cog, our hashtag for the week. I mean, I feel like it's got to be about Tango, right?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. Oh, what we need.
Hi-Fi DD.
Hi-Fi DD. Hi-Fi DD. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got this deep into the episode. Let us know your thoughts down below. Use the hashtag Hi-Fi DD alongside those comments. Otherwise, you can tag us on Twitter. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. Again, use the hashtag Hi-Fi DD. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Cog, any closing thoughts as we wrap this one up?
Yeah, man, another good one, man. Again, just rare feel good, for gaming. We need more of that, man.
Yes,
we need
sir.
more of that.
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, I'm gonna be hollering at Mr. Johannes, see how things are doing.
Yep.
I know his inbox is probably flooded right now.
I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just the team. I know it's more than just him. It's an entire team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and make sure we go out and support that thing, man.
Yes, sir.
That too. So I'm ready.
Absolutely. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Defining Duke and Xbox podcast, and we'll catch you next week for episode 190. Peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman, and the show is edited by associate producer Ben Smith. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.